Damn, we just talked 2 days ago. So how was your weekend?
It's pretty good, recorded.
What'd you fucking do?
I was about to play Blitz the League, but I said once I play it, I know like I'm gonna get sucked into it, bro. It's open free agency right now with the NFL. This is the first time I've actually like cared to watch or like pay attention to it. So I'm a little bit more apprehensive to playing Blitz right now, especially because it's one of those games where I just know like once I play it, I'm not going to put it down. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to play, like Monster Hunter, even though we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I've just been chilling. Yesterday, I slept all day. That's what I did. I woke up. I said, I'm going to play this new game, Frag Punk. I played like 3 rounds and I said, all right, I'm going to make some food.
Frag Punk is that like, not a looter shooter. It's like
it's
PvP, right?
Yeah, pretty much Call of Duty, but with like cards, and the cards.
Yeah, that's right.
It has
things.
But it's weird because it's like I'd say it's more like closed Apex because you have your heroes and they have their abilities and whatnot. Like, oh, he can make a smoke screen or he can teleport. You got all that bullshit, but then you also have like big head mode or like your whole team has swords or like the enemy team can't heal. Like small little modifiers. So it's a little interesting, but I mean, will I play it for long? Probably not, but you know.
I think I wishlisted it because it was like on the PlayStation Store, but then like gameplay was revealed for it on like what it actually was and what it looked like, and I was like, I don't know about this.
So much swag, but so little
I should have gave it a chance because it was the style that really I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool, you know, like what, you know, and I mean the name is kind of like feels like okay, you know, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, first person shoot, oh, okay.
Oh, you're just shooting people. Oh, never mind. Okay, it has some good music. The UI is a little weird. It's obvious, but it's also by NetEase, so
it's free, right?
Yeah,
free to play. Yeah.
Okay. The music's really, really good in there, for at least from what I've heard. So, I mean,
it's what reminded me of like, I don't know if you remember what we were going through like our mobile game phase. We talked about, there was one game that like, we were like, hey, play this for a little bit. And we did for like a really short amount of time, but it was like a
Dislight?
Vertical. Yeah. Dislight. Yeah.
Dislight has some swag to it, but it wasn't.
It had a lot. No,
listen, I just want to
because it's a fucking
auto 2 times, do the shit, and then I get the rewards. I don't want to actually try, and that's where it lost me.
Yeah. So this weekend, I had a friend also have an engagement. Funny enough, and he wanted me to film his proposal. So I did that, and I got to meet up with some older friends from like high school. Pretty much like my core group of friends, but they're not like, I don't like really hang out with them that much. Like I don't really like see them or talk to them, but like every once in a while, you know, they'll hit me up to do something and, you know, I'll be there, and we kind of just snap back into like, you know, high school mode. So like they're kind of like the homies, but like just not entirely, because I feel like we just don't like, they're always doing shit all the time. Like, and I'm just like never invited, but usually because I'll never go. They usually just do it's just a couple like, it's like, you know, 4 or 5 white boys basically, and I don't know, sometimes they just get into shit that I don't really fuck with, I don't care about, and so I'm sort of just like that token black friend that kind of is part of the group really, but like just isn't around. You know what I mean? And you know, they've kind of like, I have like I have better relationships with them maybe individually than like as a group, you know, I would say.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, I was doing that, you know, I hung out with them and got fucking not super drunk or anything, but you know, drank a little bit. We went to a couple bars, celebrated my friend's engagement. He's got engaged to a half white, half black girl. So he's full Mexican.
But what does she favor? Do you think she has a black mama or a black dad? That's the real question.
Well, they were both there, so I know. Her dad is black, of course.
Okay,
And the mom is white.
See, that's a very weird paradigm, because usually if it's black mom, then it's like the daughter's white as hell. But if it's like black dad, it could be either way. They could act black, or they could just be white. It depends on the dad. Was he like hood, or was he like, hi, my name is Tyrone?
No, he was like well put together. I guess he was sort of like a me version, I would say. Like he wasn't just trying to be, like, but it seemed like if you gave him the chance, like if you like, you know, moved the wrong way, he would call you out on it. You know what I mean? Like he just seemed like old, like a classical, like 1960s kind of black. You know? Like before.
That's a good.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
a good black.
Yeah.
Not that like sounds crazy to say. Not this. Okay, listen. One of my biggest fears, I don't want to say it's a big fear because it sounds crazy, but like one of my biggest fears is that one of my children come out black as hell, and then the other children comes out white as hell.
What do you mean? Skin color wise?
Like literally, like one of them takes after me and one of them takes after Dev, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like the weirdness of like, can you say nigga? Like, mind you, my wife is blonde hair, blue eyes, white as hell. Like imagine having a baby that's just white hair, blue eyes, got no nigga in them.
Right.
But it's actually black. Right. That's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. His wife, like his fiance, she's very pale for sure. But there's like, it's kind of like
high yellow,
like yeah, yeah, like Community, you know, like he kind of has that very, like he's just white, but it's like you can tell like he's a little black.
Nah, he's black, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's something else, maybe, but is it?
But
type shit.
It's crazy though, because like you mentioned that about, you know, your offspring, you know, some of them being like more black or, you know, something being more white. My brother, who is 23, you know, I think a lot of outsiders would be like, oh yeah, your brother thinks he's black, like, but he's full Mexican. He has no black in him. The main thing, so he talks basically, you know, what most people think black people talk like, and you know, he's you know, the company he keeps, like, you know, his friends, you know, in and out of jail, fucking, you know, gang banging. So, I mean, it's kind of funny, like the weirdness, because it's like,
it is kind of funny knowing you.
It's
like,
it's just really interesting, that dynamic, and really it comes down to, like who he was around while he was growing up, and like what, you know, in his mind he felt like he had to be, because at the time when I left like my mom's house, my mom was dating a black guy, and he just, I mean, wasn't like, he was a nice guy, but you know, he just wasn't a model father figure, and my brother took a lot of things from him, you know. He was, you know, I hate to say it, but like
he was a nigga.
He was a nigga, like
he was a nigga,
but like a bad nigga. Like he was just not a good father. You know what I mean? Like he was like just not responsible, in and out of jobs, always drinking, always smoking, always had his friends over. You know, like it just wasn't a good, you know, like influence. And because I wasn't around anymore, it was all like the male.
That's all he knew. Tell you.
That's all he knew. And then Abraham, which is my brother, he sort of grew up into that, and so that's why, you know, and you know, it's just kind of crazy how that works, you know.
I'm sorry, you can't be gangbanging with a name like Abraham, bro. I'm sorry. That's why I stick to nerd shit. Listen, you think I could be tough with the name Nolan? No. Hey, bro,
Nolan is up. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh shit. Oh, how do you get?
Well, that's why. Yeah, that's why you get like a, you know, like a street name. You know, you get something like that. You know, I mean, they just call him Abe. You know, but you know, Abe's pulling up or whatever. But yeah, it's a very awkward circumstance sometimes. You know, when it's brought up like, wow, like my uncle will sometimes tease my mom, his sister, and she'll be like, Alita, your kids are so confused. You know, you got your full Mexican son that thinks he's black. You got your black son that thinks he's white. You know, you got, and I'm just like, fuck you, dude. What the fuck? Like, I'm just chilling. What are you talking about? Like,
okay. So when you were growing up,
it's insane.
Did your parents used to tease you about like your nerdiness, I guess, per se?
Actually, you know what? No, my mom never really like. No, my mom never. I don't think my mom understood like what a nerd was, because she was like a first generation immigrant. So she was coming over. She's like, okay, whatever. She didn't know what was cool or not. Yeah, she's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, no. Why? Did your dad tease you or something?
No, yeah, my parents used to tease the shit out of me. Bro, my mom for the longest time used to say that I was gonna marry an Asian chick just because I watched so much anime as a kid. Like, it was like, it used to fry me because I don't like Asian women. So I was like, bro, like, stop, like, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my mom sometimes like would reference the fact that I was pretty bookish, but I think she genuinely thought I was cool. Like, my mom never really like teased me in that way. Like, my mom definitely thought I was cool.
My mom didn't think I was cool until like people said I was cool, bro.
Yeah, no, my mom like thought like I was a really cool kid. No, I was always like, and then like there was a point in middle school and like a little bit in high school where like she would buy me clothes, and it was like very like, you know, like urban clothes. Like she was trying to get me into like fucking South Pole and fucking like polo. No, Aeropostale was not like what FUBU. Like she's just trying to get me into all these like.
Oh, she's trying to get you into those, like the Sean Johns and shit.
Yeah, the Sean John, you know, she was trying to like get me to wear a lot of like this stuff. I remember for a long time, and I did for a long time. Not really, because I mean, for a while, you just don't know what to pick for yourself. Right. In middle school, just like whatever, you know. And then it wasn't, I don't know, like when I first started, when I was a sophomore, I started to skateboard, and so I started to like look for skateboard clothes and started to pick my own shit. But yeah, that was just fucking life. It's weird how that kind of works out.
Life is weird, bro. Life is really weird, bro. Every time the older I get, the more I realize that like, damn, bro, like we had it good. Like I was just talking about this. Like we walked through. That's actually what we did Saturday. I went to go pick up my comics, and then before we recorded, and then we walked around the mall there. And it's just dead, bro. It's just and we were just thinking about the concept. Like the concept of a mall won't even like exist by the time our kids are old enough to be like, Mom, take me to the mall. Like that's not even gonna be a thing to them anymore. And like just all the cool stuff that happened at the mall that I think about, like even just like going there as like the arcade water boy, or like walking around doing laps, like staring at girls, or like just bullshitting, going to GameStop in like 7th grade, like 4 of us, and just staring at every game in GameStop and then leaving when the mall closed. Like shit like that doesn't happen anymore, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. It's I guess it is hard to say in some sense definitively like that we had it really good, you know, but it's definitely like nostalgia heavy for sure, thinking of like going to the mall, the arcades and stuff. And I still see a lot of young people at the mall, but definitely not nowhere. I mean, the malls are like pretty much, you know, the ghost towns these days,
unless it's like the big malls or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't think people or kids like specifically hang out at the mall in the same capacity, whether it's because of the way like the way socializing has sort of changed, which I'm kind of glad that like I am not a teen in this like TikTok like era. Like bro. I'm pretty happy that I'm not like chronically online, as they say. It seems a bit overwhelming even as an adult, you know. Like my sister's like my younger sister, every time I'm with her, she's always on live. She's always like on TikTok live or IG or like all constantly, just like having her friends with her all the time. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is such a strange dynamic. Like,
yeah. Like I get like
like
FaceTime and the homies or something like that, but like
that, like she's always on with them.
Instagram,
like, and they're just
bro?
sometimes they won't be doing anything either. They'll just
I
be
mean,
like,
I
I'm
get
like,
that
what are you
for
doing,
like
Liz?
a Discord. You know what I'm saying? I get that, but like,
Yeah.
video, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, let's say like I go over, you know, and it's just
And
me
she's
and
just-
I'm going over to hang out with them. Yeah, she'll like come out, you know, be at the table, put her phone like propped up against something, an IG live, and I'm like, what? Or TikTok live. I'm like, what? Why are you live? Bro?
That's
You doing something?
crazy.
I'm like, I just don't understand. And I'm just like, oh, hey guys, what's up? Like, what are you? What are we
Anyway,
doing?
to you
I
and
don't-
your audience, I'm here to talk about.
Yeah, like I'm just like, this is weird. I mean, I just kind of want to hang out.
I was trying to talk
with
about some real shit, but
you. Yeah, like this is, I don't know. Like it feels like a whole different. People are a part of your lives in a more constant and persistent way, but somehow it's less meaningful.
yeah, what's that
It's really strange.
TikTok of the girl that's like, oops, I have overshared on the internet. That's how I feel with like 95% of TikToks, where they're like, my husband's never wiped his ass, and I didn't know he didn't know how to wipe his ass until now. And it's
Oh
like,
my god, yeah.
it's
there's
like
a
shit
lot
that you're
of
like,
shit.
why are you telling me this, bro? This is information that
Yeah.
is not pertinent to telling on the internet. Now you just told everybody you lay with shitty ass over here.
Yeah, and it's just like, what? Like,
Why?
guys, does your husband also wipe his ass? Like, you guys tell me in the comments. Like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like, why are we talking about this? This is so stupid. It's like
I gotta find.
I feel like
statistic. There's got to be
the
a
level
level
of,
of like
like-
how many people think that. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like of how many kids now think that they're like content creators by the nature
Because
of
of, like-
just social media in general.
That's actually, yeah, I don't think that's talked about enough. Yeah, do like people that are just doing random fucking just, you know, spilling their guts. Are you a content creator because you're filming
Technically.
yourself doing makeup or something? Like, it's,
Technically, you're doing makeup and you're spilling your beans, and somebody's
Yeah.
watching.
or what is it? Get ready with me, you know, with the whole like, let's get
Yeah.
dressed. And watch me put on my makeup and we talk.
I get on
about it.
Instagram,
This is
and
what I'm
all
using.
Instagram is just people posting like fucking TikToks of like them dressing up, or like, here's what I was doing today. Like I saw a homie that was just shooting like basketball today,
Yeah.
and he had like a caption that was like, for every shot I make, that's every time you got to take a shot. And I'm like, bruh, like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel it's. I don't want to say like it's because do you remember like having a group of friends and like you guys would all have a sort of like language, like a sort of, you know, you guys had like a in group sort of like in jokes and like things that were like, this is our group, you know, and this all these little like jokes and things and ways of talking that we have is for our like group of friends. I feel like in some way social media I think has taken that away a little bit because everything is just shared with everybody, so like everybody's in on everything now, you know. And if you're not in on something, it's like, oh, you don't know about this. It's just like, well, no,
it's a
because
big group
I'm
thing.
not a yeah. So it's just like, well, you should know about, or not you should, I mean no one ever says you should, but it's like if you're not in on whatever is the new like in joke or
correction,
little
if you're not
thing.
chronically online as much as them,
Yeah.
then you're out of the loop for the next 2 days while they make jokes about
Yeah.
booper booper or whatever the meme is of the day or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. And I love, you know, I listen to podcasts weekly, just one podcast, and it's interesting to hear sometimes the like virality of certain topics or even the virality of language. You know, I feel like one of the more recent ones that I noticed like all of a sudden became like really like people started using it a lot more was when Neb started to say yapping, and like I feel like that just caught on in every. I was like, no one was saying that.
I
like,
was
months
the
ago.
first nigga to say yapping.
You know,
I was the
like I
first
don't
nigga.
like it was kind of wild to me. I was like, wait, I don't. Okay, like, and it's funny, but just like little things like that where you start hearing it like even outside of your own circle, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. You're seeing it in comments. You're seeing like other people are saying that, and it's like, how did that happen so quickly? How did
That's how I feel with
fascinating.
that's how I feel with like young niggas and crash out. Like both of those terms.
Yeah.
Young niggas is just a thing
out.
You say, like, oh, that's just some young niggas over there. But you never really articulated it as like, that's not even a word, but you never put it with like why, like people use YNs now to mean like, oh, those are like hood dudes that are going to do something crazy, and it's like, or just black kids in general, and it's like that's very demeaning to say, because it's like, I'm just saying young niggas because there's a literal young niggas over there. That's a group of young niggas, not like, oh, them young niggas might rub me. Yeah, they're using it in like a derogatory sense. Or like crash out. People were saying crash out when I was like in elementary school, but it was literally always in the terms of like homeless people, or like people that was like about to do something crazy, like pull out a gun at a function or something like that. It was never like, like people be saying crash out now, like, oh, did you see that XQC crashed out on stream on another Valorant player? It's like, no, that's not crashing out, bro. Like he just raised his voice, bro. He's not crashing out. It's okay. Crashing out has ramifications, but
there's consequences of crashing out. I think it's interesting too, like the sort of regional, what do you call it? Regional dialects or regional like idiosyncrasies. Like I'm not even gonna try to use that word. I cannot believe it. The idiosyncrasies of different regions. Like obviously you're from the East Coast, I'm from the Southwest. There's a lot of difference in language or how things are said or used, and and now because it's all online, it's like being like I don't know. I feel like it's okay sometimes to keep things reach. Like we don't all have to speak the same way. Like you talk like that and I'll talk like this, and then when I go over to your side and I'm like, oh shit, wait, like what's that? Like what does that mean? And like you like, oh yeah, that's just like what we say around here. So like that. Like just keep. Why do I have to? Oh, you're not on social media. You should have known that us niggas on this, like, we speak like this, and this means this. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well,
I don't know why I had a thought that your brother was gonna walk up and be like, "Howdy, Buster, was capping young."
Howdy, Buster.
Violating B. Coming over here, cuz. Slime, you better not mess with me. And I'll be like, bro, that's like 7 different cities you just yelled at me right now, bro. I don't know what you said.
It is the homogenization. Oh my god, I can't speak today. But yeah, it's sort of all these things sort of coming into one, because of the singularity of social media, I would say. But so hanging out with the group of friends open up that whole conversation. But basically we were talking a little bit about like getting older, because we hadn't seen each other maybe in like 5 years. So I was just like, shit, we're all like about to be married or going to be married, or already married and having kids and shit. And I was telling them about balding and shit, and I was just and one of my homies is like, oh man, he's a poor guy, I'm just like, dude, you should probably just shave that. Like, I wouldn't let it keep it the way you have it. It looks it looked pathetic, like where it's just I'm just like, just shave that. But that got me thinking, like, do you cut your own hair? Do you still go to a barber? How do you like? What's your whole deal? Do you have like a special person you go to?
Yeah, I usually cut my own hair. I usually just skin it bald and just let it grow back out naturally. That's what I've been doing for a moment. Like you saw with like not last year, the year before last, was growing it out. Like I had it in a twist and everything. I was going to grow back out my dreads. Because for so long, I had dreads from 10th grade until like right before we did Back of the Rack. So like I'm just not used to having haircuts, like going to the barber. Like, and from when I was a kid, like the barbershops changed dramatically from like that point forward, because, of course you're growing your hair out from like, 9th, 10th grade, then you get it dreaded, then you do all that, what I'm saying? So I just went from like 2011 until like 2020 without hair, or 2019 whenever I cut it. And like it's just kind of crazy to think about, because it's like now barbers are like you walk in like trying to find like a random barbershop, you walk in and they're like, you got an appointment? You got an appointment? It's $50 now for a haircut for some fucking reason, bro. Just to do a taper fade, bro, in the lineup.
It's expensive.
And then you're gonna fuck my lineup anyway. So like, I'm gonna do it myself, bro. But I'll probably grow my hair back out before it goes bald again. Well, not again.
Yeah, it's definitely like anywhere from 30 to 50. I had a barber that I would go to for probably 8 years, and she was good. She got better with time too. And actually started to figure out like the weird, because my hair is weird. I have like 8 calyx apparently or something, and so like it twists and turns, and it's hard to do like a proper fade without like getting it at the right angle. So she kind of like figured out, like my head. A lot of barbers I would go to, and yeah, like niggas, I'm just like, they would fuck my shit up so often, I'm just
all
like,
the time,
fuck.
bro.
Like, what the, okay, all right, I guess I'm not giving you a tip, by the way. Here you go. Here's your fucking $30. But yeah, I started to cut my own hair because it started to, basically my hairline started to recede. So it's not like so it's not that I'm losing hair like on top or anything. So I can still grow that out. But since I've been cutting my own hair, I think I figured out a way to make it look actually pretty nice, where I just shave the sides and leave the top pretty long. So you can't really tell like that anything's actually wrong. But what happens all the time is that I can easily fuck it up, because cutting your own hair is actually extremely hard.
Bro, you know how many times I like missed the entire back?
Yes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking wear a hat. I'm just gonna cut all this like the same shape or the same length, because this looks awful now. Yeah, and I'll be like in the bathroom, like just straight for an hour, just trying to like, I had this this compact mirror that kind of flips out,
the
so
triple
you get,
joint.
Yeah, the triple thing, yeah. And I have that, and I'm just like, fuck. And sometimes I can get it right, but like if I fuck it up on one side, it's so like it's just hard to correct course. It's like once like one part is too high, or or like the line is too like stark, I'm just like, I don't know what to do here. I think I'm just gonna fucking shave it. Fuck
I feel you. That's why I haven't shaved my mustache or anything like that, because like if I feel like I shave like a little too far, like up here, I'm like, well, the whole thing's gotta go. I gotta shave everything. I gotta go.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I kind of don't like it, and especially because like for a while I was like, okay, I think I can actually make my hair look pretty good if I just keep the top longer and the side shorter. That just took a little more time to like finesse. But now I'm just like, let me maybe just go back to just taking the lowest end or whatever.
Put the one guard on.
Yeah, and then that's it. Like like fuck it.
Yeah, that's what I be doing. I just skin it bald, bro, and just one guard and just go all the way down the whole way until it's eventually even.
Yeah, no, it's a whole fucking thing. And then like the conversation came up with my friends too about like, manscaping, about fucking, doing your armpits and like your pubes and shit. And I was like, yeah, that's sort of interesting, because I like, how do other men do it? Just like, do you have like a special trimmer? I know some people don't even touch down there or anything. And there's so many times too where I've like nicked myself and I'm just like, fuck, that actually really fucking hurts and this sucks. But like how I don't know, it's just like an interesting, like how often is this fucking happening?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the niggas that fell for the Manscaped plot. It's a great razor, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You use Manscaped?
I legitimately use Manscaped, but I also shave like multiple parts of my body. Like I shave my chest. Do you shave your chest?
Oh, I don't have chest hair. I'm not a hairy dude. Yeah.
I get a strip, but it's weird because it's just one strip. It's not like the full bushel. It's just the strip from nipple to nipple, which is fucking weird. It's like a unibrow. So I gotta I don't like that shit. So I'll be like, nah, man, we gotta get this out of here.
Yeah,
armpits.
I feel that. Yeah.
I used to shave my arms because my arms would get mad hairy, like super hairy, and I was like, yeah, let me shave these. So now it hasn't grown back for real, but
yeah. I have some hairy ass legs and hairy ass thighs and legs. Do you have
I do shave my thighs.
You do?
when I be shaving because like it's like a visible difference, or it's like, damn, okay, let me shave.
See, I'm always worried about shaving them because I'm like, fuck, do I want to do this every time? If it just feels like such a
because
big
it's like
ass.
it's the opposite. It's like literally like, damn, nigga, like, did you?
Oh, you're talking about like from the actual dick area into the
from
leg.
like to the thigh. It's like, damn, that's a lot of hair, nigga.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I guess
that
that's
wouldn't
true.
matter in the grand scheme of things because only one person's going to see that area.
Exactly.
But it's
yeah.
like, to me personally, when I go take a shit or piss, I don't want to just be like, why'd you stop right there? You know what I mean?
Am I coming in hot on your waveform? I'm peeking on my hand. So
No, you're straight.
Okay.
You're straight over here.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's one of those things where, like, and then I know there's like a whole thing, right, of like men who shave their legs.
I shaved
Like-
my legs one time during swim season. I used to have hairy ass legs, and I remember them telling me like, "Hey, bro, if you shave your legs, you'll go faster."
Yeah,
was a lie.
that makes sense.
I'm still ass.
Swimmers, I understand like why they would, shave their legs, but like I remember for a while, especially like hearing in high school and stuff like that, but like men who shaved their legs, like that was sort of like, oh, okay, then they're probably gay,
Yeah.
And I feel like because I already wasn't like a super masculine macho fucking guy, I didn't want to also shave my legs and be like, oh, he's for sure gay. so I was like, I'm never touching my legs,
I feel like, I mean, it all depends because it's body hair. And I mean, some people don't like body hair. So, I mean, if you want to shave, I feel like there isn't nothing that's inherently wrong with shaving all of your body hair. Like, if I had the money, I would get the laser immediately, bro. Laser my chest, laser my pubes, laser my eyes. I don't want no hair at all. Matter of fact, since we had it, laser the rest of my body. Laser these armpits, laser these legs.
Right.
Get it all out the way, bro. I would do it. But it's also like $50,000 or whatever the fuck they be paying. I don't know what they be paying.
Yeah,
but
like get yourself waxed. I think it was more for me that I already had so many other things that people were calling me gay for that I just didn't need another another nail in the coffin to be like, I just thought you were gay. Like at least people like asked, but I feel like if I shaved my legs, they'd be like, oh yeah, you're gay.
The craziest whiplash ever is like growing up as an Atlanta nigga and then moving up here and being a DC nigga and then going back to Atlanta. Like, because I flip-flop so much between them, I would get the styles of each place. So I was up in Atlanta. I would go down to Atlanta dressing like a DC nigga and they'd be like, bro, you dress gay as hell, bro. What is you wearing? And then I go up to a DC dressing like an Atlanta nigga and they would be like, bro, you dressing gay as hell. What is you wearing? And I'm like, bro, both sides say this is fine. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember I would wear Toms because back in the day, Toms were like super cool.
Well, you were in on that?
Yeah, I was a Tom dude. I had like 4 pair of them joints, bro.
Yeah, because I was like big when I was going to high school, but I remember it like kind of phasing out a little bit. But I get, okay.
Yeah.
So it was still kind of going. Damn.
Yeah, it was still going. Everybody in Atlanta was wearing Toms, Sperry's.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah, the boat shoe.
Yeah, I came up here wearing that shit. Niggas was like, are you wearing flats? What is you wearing, bro? And I was like, bro, because everybody up here wear like foam posits, 993s. They were just real sneakerheadish up here. So it's like, if you're not wearing the latest Jordans or the latest New Balances or something like that, the Kobe's, the KDs, whatever the bullshit is, then you're not fi. That's the standard look for a DC nigga is skinny jeans, cuff the bottoms, Jordans, and a polo. It's the easiest fit to do in the world, bro. And it's like so
interesting.
It's so champ because it's like, bro, there's no style in that. And then it's like you go to Atlanta and Atlanta style is wear a button-up shirt. You can fleece it a little bit. You can wear it open. You can wear it closed. It's all up to you. Roll up the sleeves, and it's like frat boy. For real, it's a real frat boy swag.
Interesting.
Cargo pants, cargo shorts, Sperry's, Toms, sandals, Nike slides, shit like that. Niggas is wearing shit like that. And it's like, bro, no matter what I do, y'all are gonna say it. So fuck it.
You couldn't, you can't win. You can't win. And now you just wear video game shirts.
Nah, just wear video game shirts. I don't really, bro, I swear to God, I bought a pack of white tees, a pack of gray tees, and a pack of black tees, bro. Only time I'd be wearing tees for real, for real. I feel bad because it's like the 5th time I wear. I feel like bad every time we record back of the rack because I wear like the same 6 shirts, but like I really don't.
Yeah, but nobody. Nobody could tell really.
I'm a real outerwear dude. I be having hella jackets. I got hella jackets, hella hoodies, hella long wear, hella shit like that.
Yeah,
because
and that makes sense for your climate too. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You have
wintertime. That's when I be dressing. Right now, I'm chill mode.
You're like a bear hibernating, basically. You don't come out, you just wait, and then you do go out when we're like the opposite of a bear, basically. Yeah. Back to those friends though, it got me thinking because those are so those are old friends, right? And I've known them for years, right? But our friendships aren't really like current or up to date or anything like that. But I don't know if I told you. I'm pretty sure I did. But there was a new friendship that's sort of been bubbling a little bit. Not really.
That's crazy. You cheating on me. That's crazy.
Well, to be honest, you were like the first friend I've made like legitimately in like 10 years. So
no, facts. Touche. I do say the same.
Yeah. So it's just like, and it's hard to make new friends. Even like, people on Discord, like I fuck
There's
with
a
them,
layer
right?
of
they're
like,
not.
Yeah, let me get you out there.
Yeah. But so yeah, there's 2 niggas that recently came into my life, which I've told you about. One of them was, doing like the Basquiat sort of art style thing that I was sharing with you. Yeah. And then his homie, them 2. And basically it's been them trying to hit me up like almost every week, and they have such radically different schedules. They work at night. They're like working like night shifts and shit. So like they want to hang out like, hey, like it's 11 right now. Like you swing by, and I'm like, what? Like I'm up, but like I don't want to go hang out. Yeah, I got work. Yeah,
you got shit to do.
And so like and one of them wants to start a podcast, which I've helped him like get all the materials that he needs, a laptop, all the like the mics, and we've done like a test run and all that. But the problem is getting together to do that podcast. And yeah, it's just like, it's so interesting with adult friendships, how you really are on your own time. Like you cannot, like you have to schedule a hangout. They want to do the impromptu hangouts. They want to always be like the day of, or maybe even like the day before, be like, hey, I'm off, but I'm like, nah, dude, it has to be like a week in advance if you like actually want to like set something in stone. You can't just be like the day of or like the night before. They're 20, one's 29 and the other one is 31, so our age, but in between.
Maybe we're just curmudgeons, bro. Maybe that's what it is.
You know what though?
Old souls.
They also tell me a lot that I'm like well put together, and that like, and I'm like, what do you mean? And I mean, they're 30, right? And they're not really happy with their jobs. Neither am I. I think they just have this perception of me that like everything's going swimmingly or something. But like I don't know, like
I'm dying inside.
Yeah, like one of them is still like living with his like roommates, and so he feels because he's living with roommates, he's not like a man yet, and he got out of like a really long relationship too.
That's the perfect time, bro, to give your roommate.
Yeah, to go. Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants his own place. He doesn't feel like a man essentially because he doesn't have like his own space and stuff. And then the other one is living with his girl and a roommate. And yeah, what do you call? Like he's a server basically. He's a server at a like restaurant, and because I think he has like a criminal record a little bit, he can't really get another job. So their lives are just like maybe stagnating, or they're just like on different paths, but they look up to me a lot in that way, and they're always like, yeah, we'll work around your time and everything, but then they don't, because they want to like hang out on a fucking Tuesday at like 10, and then they wanted to like hang out till like 3 in the morning, and I'm like, guys, what is we drinking and shit? I'm just like,
we got a 5-hour limit, bro, and get the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because because I deal with this same situation a lot with like my friends, is that once you have your own space, it's kind of good to have like your solace. And I find sometimes it's a crutch to like fall into this like space that we have of just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just fuck around with the CRTs, or I'm gonna just play some random bullshit instead of like hanging out with friends. But also, we're not like 19 anymore, so like I'm not just gonna pull up at your crib at like as soon as I wake
Yeah.
up at 11:30 and then we just hang out all day. It's like I
Yeah.
kind of want my space, and then when we hang out, it's a dedicated time of us hanging out. And
Yes.
then after I'm done,
That's
I'm
exactly
like,
it.
okay, I want to go home. I go home.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the issue that I have a lot with friends that I have, and that's why like a lot of the times I make it like a, well, I don't live never, well, yeah, when I lived up there, I lived too far away to hang out with friends, so it was like a necessity of like, if I'm hanging out with you, I can't, either you have to pull up to me or I have to make it a dedicated mission. Like you have to tell me like when to pull up, you know what I mean? I can't just be like, hey, I'm pulling up, because it's a 2-hour drive. If I get there and you're not there, you're bullshitting, I'm gonna be mad because I have to drive 2 hours back. Whereas, I don't know, I feel you though, because sometimes I feel that way with like friendships down here, where it's like I haven't really talked to people out here, like, you know, I haven't really explored, gone to bars and stuff like that. But I also have family out here. I have like, you know, my old roommates, I have my brother-in-law, I have people out here that I can hang out with if I ever wanted to. But it's like, how do you make new friends? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like fitting people into your lives, like new people, is actually like probably one of the main reasons that adults don't typically make new friends, because it's like you already have your set community typically, you know, and then you have to fit people into a schedule, and then you have to like just do like stuff with them. Like you just gotta like do stuff to build memories, and you gotta kind of build like a understanding with each other, and that takes a lot of time for one, you know. And yeah, you kind of gotta be on a similar schedule. That's why like mostly like you'll make your friends at work typically, like if you're gonna make friends, or your neighbors, like people that are on a similar schedule to you, or understand that they're not just gonna be like, hey, I'm off today, you want to hang out in an hour? And it's like, no, I mean, I'm off too, but that's not how I was planning on spending my day.
My plan was to play Choro Q all day, so
my plan was to fucking play games in a dark room. Like, nah, I wasn't trying to go out and socialize. But I do think about our friendship, because that sort of came about in this, was it COVID times when we started?
I think it was like COVID was just ending. Maybe.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
2020. It was 2020. So, you know.
6 years ago? Yeah, just about. So I feel like our friendship just sort of came about from like the commonality and wanting to do and talk about the games that we liked. But then I don't know, like we hang out on status chat. I mean, we basically hang out twice a month. So we make a lot of time for each other. We sort of plan around it, and we do something together, which is to play a specific game. So I feel like our friendship really works because of that. But yeah, with other friendships, sometimes I'm like, in some way, I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of other friendships.
Like, you know, on that one.
Like, I'm just like, I could spend time with you, or I could like be doing this other thing. So I don't know. It's kind of tricky with new friendships, adult friendships, you know, and they require a lot more, I would say. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about your favorite game of the year so far. Monster Hunter.
That's not sorry we're closed. That's not sorry we're closed. Where do you want to start with this? Because I just got off the game to record this podcast. Okay. Where do you want to start with this? Because I have some thoughts.
Let me tell you that I think it is. I I genuinely feel like it is a really good game. I feel like it's an excellent game. And sometimes this happens with like games in a series where it's like, oh, maybe if this was just removed entirely from the specific expectations that people have about it, maybe people could actually enjoy it for what it is. Luckily for me, I there was a lot in Monster Hunter World that I think held me back from like playing it more consistently. Mainly, it was probably what you liked about the Monster Hunter series to begin with, which I think even in Monster Hunter World was already like downplayed a bit. But it's the prepping and all that, the game flow, the loading into an area, and all this. It made it feel disconnected to me. I mean, I put like about 150 hours into Monster Hunter World, which is a lot for me. But I definitely noticed that there were a lot of blocks, a lot of like things that kind of hampered the overall seamlessness of like doing a hunt or, you know, like that kind of stuff. And I feel like Wilds solves a lot of my own personal issues with the game. And yeah, I have about, I think I have about 60 hours into it, and I'm just, I'm fucking with it, man. I don't
See,
think it's perfect. I'm not gonna say like it's perfect. There's a lot of like the menus are strange to me. I still think trying to like create a build isn't as easy as it should be, considering that that's like half the point of the game. I feel like it's like there's so many buttons that do different things. You know, like it's
yeah,
almost as if you should be playing with a keyboard sometimes. You know, I'm just like I don't
yeah,
understand.
yeah. I think you kind of brought up a big point I wanted to say about that is that uh, it's okay. Monster Hunter as a series has always been about the preparation and the knowledge.
Mm,
And, you know, there's like a weird dichotomy I was talking about earlier when we were talking about this about like Monster Hunter, where you have the people that want to just fight cool dragons and monsters with their giant great sword and long sword and do the flashy moves and kill the monsters. There's the people that want to
okay.
do that. Then there's the people that like the build crafting, the theory crafting of like I have plus 10 attack and my blast idol mode and it does this and my motion values and all that bullshit. And like
Hmm.
optimizing like, oh, if you flashbang it like this, it'll stop it from doing this, and then you shock trap it, attack it, set the bombs, like doing all of the tool material things and stuff like that
Mm, mm,
to show their mastery over a monster and like for preparation. But like for me, Monster Hunter has always been I made this okay. It's Harvest Moonian. And when I say Harvest Moonian, I mean Harvest Moon as a series has always stood out to me, not for the farming element, but for the small town element of, you know, the eclectic villagers and all of their lives and fuckery that's going on that you help them out with. And you just helping them out with a small town. You'd be like, hey, I made some turnips. Here you go. I made a turnip soup or whatever. Here you go. And they're like, oh, thank you. I like that element of Harvest Moon. And
mm,
Monster Hunter kind of encapsulated that with the first couple of games. You know, Monster Hunter Try, you're at a small fishing village and you send fishermen out to go fish for you. And then you're helping the village and you're doing all these village quests and stuff to help people out. Or pretty much every Monster Hunter is like that, where you have a village, you're doing village quests. And then if you want to do multiplayer, you go to a separate hub multiplayer area where you do all your multiplayer stuff. Monster Hunter Wilds feels to me, and World was where it started for me, to where the idea of a seamless open zone and having everything be everywhere that you needed, you didn't need a loading screen to go anywhere, is a cool idea in theory. But in order to make that open zone, it's difficult because you have to take away a lot of the friction that makes Monster Hunter appealing to the preparation people or the people that like doing the flashy moves, or I charge the great sword and smash it on its head before it attacks me. You have to
mm,
take that away. And like you said, Monster Hunter Wilds is a great game. Like genuinely the best 4 out of 5 game like there is. It's a really good game. In terms of Monster
mm,
Hunter, this is probably the one Monster Hunter, if you've never played Monster Hunter, to play. But just the fact that in the past, building, like you said, with builds, they had negative skills back in the day. So like you can have poison go up, and so like you're super susceptible to poison, but this armor gives you speed sharpening or something. Like each set had tr- uh pros and cons, and a lot of
Yeah.
the sets in Monster Hunter Wilds don't have cons. There's a lot of positives, but there's not a lot of negatives when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, for example, I just fought a tempered Arc Veil with 4 other niggas. I did not die the entire time, and I did not sharpen my blade until the Arc Veil, because it was a double quest. It was like an Arc Veil and I think like a Chatakabra or something like that you had to kill. The entire time I fought the Arc Veil, I did not sharpen my weapon. It got all the way down to red sharpness, and I was still doing damage to it. Normally, that would mean I would have to bounce off, or I'm doing 1 damage, or just the fact that you could heal and you can cook on the fly, you can camp anywhere, you can auto walk, there's so many conveniences and quality of life improvements that I feel like it's like making the game more like an arena, where it's like I go to the arena to fight the monster and all the other bullshit is just extra. And I don't like that, because I think the world is beautiful. I think Wilds is probably the most beautiful landscapes that Monster Hunter has ever had. But can you name one interesting location on each map?
What do you mean?
Like, can you name like your favorite like little area of each map that you've gone to where you're like, I think that's a cool little spot and I just like being here? The only spot I can think of is the Oasis in the plains. And then there's a spot with like the Wyvern eggs and the ruins of Waviera. I think those are 2 like really, really interesting spots. But
yeah,
like normally you can tell like, okay, this is where the mining crops go. This is where the herbs are at. Or up here is where there's spider webs and ivy. Over here is where the, usually where the Wyvern spawn. Or if the Wyvern's going to go to sleep, they're going to fly to this coop over here. I don't really have that in this game, because I can just press up on the D-pad and automatically go to whatever I want to go to.
Right. Yeah. I actually agree a lot with what you're saying. I think the thing for me is that a lot of it is so optional. Like, a lot of it is at your fingertips, but if you want to walk over, run over, ride over to your monster, you can do that. If you want to, like, sometimes I'll just go on foot and I'll just walk around and I'll look and I'll like I was telling you, like, just looking, there's so much shit that's on the map and I'm like, what does this combine with? Like, how do and obviously I know a lot of it from Monster Hunter World, and it's probably been a lot of past games, but I do feel like the hunting simulation aspect of it is there, but it's so understated by your ability to like hotkey everything. Everything is sort of at your fingertips. You can craft anywhere. You can camp anywhere. Well, mostly. Sometimes your camps will be destroyed by the monsters or bad weather and things like that. But I think Monster Hunter was always interesting to me because I've played so many of them and have never gotten into any of them until Monster Hunter World. And even World had a lot of just like clunky game design. And I feel like there is a way to sort of combine the seamlessness of the open world with like a town and have it all feel like fluid and still retain like the prepping simulation. And I feel like that's just lost a little bit here. I think that it's sort of like the path of least resistance is what's happening here, where it's like, why would I want to engage with any of these mechanics or do this at any point when I can just like, hotkey it, when I can just auto craft, when I can just do this or that, when I can when I can just talk to the handler at any point while I'm on the map. There is a lot of quality of life stuff happening that I think in some way takes away the yeah, there's like that hunting fantasy of like prepping and getting to know the monster. Um, one of the things I noticed was that, you know, when you pick up their, like, what is it called? The monsters have like debris or something that they leave behind, usually like, you know, wyvern eggs or like feathers or like
Yeah,
mud.
that's all
Um,
gone. It's automatically picked
yeah,
up now.
the research thing I think has been severely cut back, and I'm not sure how much of it is in there because I picked up a couple things, you know, but I'm like, what is this doing now? I mean,
I
I
think
feel
it
like
just gives you
I've
like investigation quests now of just like, okay, you can do an investigation quest now that you pick that up. Cause yeah, cause
okay,
cause
okay,
World, I still, even though it took away the paintball mechanic, I enjoyed
yeah,
the scout fly mechanic of, you know, oh, you need to like
having to,
eventually as you pick up enough tracks, it's just going to automatically go to the monster. But you've hunted that monster so many times that you just like it's like you would instinctually know, you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
Whereas
yeah,
now every monster, no
is
matter what, is
available, yeah,
automatically available. And it's
which is like you're introduced to each one in the story at a like at like a it's a good pace, and this is where I feel like the story could have been more about like the monster themselves and just being a monster hunter and, you know, teaching you like this is this monster in this area, let's like study it, you know, let's like sort of almost adding a more like zoologist kind of mentality to it, like, oh, this is how this, you know, creature reacts and all this, and you like really like I love going into the, what is it, the monster compendium or whatever, where you can see all
yes,
their stats. Like I love going in there, and I feel like it's not used often. It's not like really, it could have been such a huge part of the experience. But yeah, it is kind of cut back so that you can just get into the big fight with, you know, whomever. And I do kind of wish that that was like, in some way, I wish it was more like the, you know, the Cabela games in some way, you know, like I wish it was like,
now you're seeing my vision. This is why I fuck with
yeah,
Monster Hunter, because back
yeah,
in the day, it was like you really didn't know where the monster was. The monster
right,
would just spawn, and you would have a map, or sometimes not a map, and you'd have to walk around until you eventually found the monster. And then if you learned the monster enough, you could just know like, oh, he spawns in area 12.
yeah,
Run over to area 12. Like one of the highlight fights I think about all the time is the Gabol in Monster Hunter Tri. That is my favorite monster in all of Monster Hunter. It's this giant anglerfish that you
mhm,
like fight. And you can fight him in the water, or if you meet him in the area that he normally spawns in, you can jump in the water and fight him there. Or
yeah,
you can find a frog in another area, go to his area, throw the frog out and fish him out of the water, and he's automatically like in a stun, like the little roll animation at the time, so
yeah,
you get the whale on him like immediately and fight the gabbo out of water instead of in water. And then he'll eventually hop in the water and you can fight him in the water once he tries to run away and stuff like that. But I just always thought that that's like a cool feature, because like I will remember fighting the gabbo and people still would not know that. Like I would just run up and be like fishing, and I'd be like, don't hop in the water. I have to, back when you had to plug your keyboard into the Wii and be like, no, 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 don't jump in the water. Just wait. I'm gonna fish him out. And them learning that you could do that is always like an interesting interaction. I think
yeah,
that's the reason why Wilds doesn't feel, and I said if it's boring, but it's not, because like the fights are still amazing. Like some of these fights are insane. Like the
mhm,
octopus, amazing fight. I love that fight. But the main issue comes from, like you said, like, why would I walk on foot and walk to the monster or try to find it manually when the scout flies are going to automatically go there? If I press up on the D-pad, it's going to automatically take me there. Or
mhm,
you know, why would I not have a Palico with me or call in support hunters to fight with me when I might as well do that? Because it's like, if I'm going to call anybody in for multiplayer, if I want to play multiplayer, I'm gonna shoot the SOS flare. Is going to call in NPCs to fill in until somebody comes into the quest. So it's like, no matter what, I'm dealing with conveniences regardless. Like if I call for multiplayer, it's going to give me multiplayer. Palico is going to shoot shock traps and flashbangs and
yeah,
Rathalos fire and Waver and flames and all this mumbo jumbo and not die. It never dies. It's like
No,
indestructible. It doesn't go
it
like in the
doesn't.
past games. It's like, all right, I'm gone for 5 minutes. Like it's going to be there the entire fight. Or even the fact that the monsters fight each other, or the weird part for me, I think that really sticks out is the fact that I don't think I know the name of any of the small monsters in this game. They have no
Mm.
purpose. I'm like not even for like crafting gear. The large monsters aren't like the big versions of smaller monsters like how they used to have back in the day with like the Jaggy or what's the first one that you fight in Monster Hunter World? I forgot his name.
The first small monster?
Yeah, the little weird frog thingy. I forgot his name.
The frog thingy. Mm.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, but like the fact that there isn't like all the small monsters, the only time I've noticed them is when they're fighting the monster with me, and I've noticed that, and I was like, that's a weird introduction. I like that. That's cool, but like, what I've never like. Usually, you would have to get small monster carvings in order to build this weapon or to build this armor, and they still have that, but it's like they're non-existent because I'm pressing up on the D-pad and running past all of them. So they don't really serve a purpose like back in the day. Like the Kongala is a very good example of that. Freedom Unite, the Kongala was the bane of my existence because you're fighting him and those little fucking monkeys and the Bufangos running at you. You go to this other area, there's Velocidromes trying to fight you. There's so many other elements fighting you on top of the Kongala, which isn't necessarily a very hard monster to fight. That makes that fight one of the hardest fights that you would fight in the early games of Monster Hunter. And I think that is the part that's really eating at me when I'm talking about Monster Hunter. Because like you said, it's a great game. It's still addicting. Like once we get off this set, I'm probably going to play Monster Hunter. but like there's a disappointment in me because this is Capcom's best selling game ever. Like this is the game. 1.3 million people were playing this on Steam at the same time. This is a mainstream AAA franchise now. It is no longer the niche bullshit. It's like imagine if Dynasty Warriors Origin just for some reason sold 10 million copies first week. Like like even the fact that Dynasty Warriors Origin sold like 1 million copies is going to change the trajectory of the series.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that now this is Capcom's biggest money seller ever. This sold more than Resident Evil, more than Street Fighter, more than Devil May Cry, more than any other game Capcom has made. They've made genres, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, this is just crazy to think about.
World was already outsold all those franchises. So yeah,
That's
they
true.
had a lot. They already had and that's why this sold so well, because people were already all in with World, And so this was almost like a foregone conclusion. Why they made it simpler, or more. I don't know. It's difficult because sometimes I think like, okay, maybe these features would be cool if they were doled out. Like, oh, now that you're hunter or high rank, or was it hunter rank?
Yeah.
Now that you're HR 40, right? Now your sacred can auto move. Now that you're HR 45, now you can, sharpen your weapon while on the move. Now you can auto craft. Like, if these were all sort of given to you almost as a reward for playing so long, as opposed to maybe all these mechanics being just given to you out the gate, maybe that would have been also cool. Because I think it is a progression.
Because that's how it was in World, right? With the Palico, where you had to go out of your way to find the Palico upgrades and all the weapons that the Palico had, the gadgets. You had to go out of your way to find people on the map in really hidden areas. And then they would give you a quest that you would do, and they would give your Palico a new weapon. But now it's just give me a giant vigor ass. Yeah. Oh, great. Thanks. Now I just upgraded my shit. It's it's a small thing. Go out there, get some flash flies. That's easy. That's 2 right there.
Yeah. It's very, it would have been cool. Yeah. And this is usually my problem with leveling in games too. Sure, I'm hunter rank whatever now, but I'm not getting anything. My Palico's not getting anything. I mean, I have to do these missions for him to learn these specific attacks and stuff, but why even bother having these levels if I don't get anything for leveling up to fucking level 20, 25, 30, you know? When I see that they have all these features that made playing the game easier, and they were maybe spooked by, which I have no clue why. It's not like Monster Hunter World did terribly, where they're like, okay, this time we gotta make it easy for people. It's like, no, people were still willing to play the game, you know? So why streamline it so intensely as to lose a little bit of the simulation aspect or the hunting fantasy, you know? It's weird because even like you're talking about the Harvest Moonian aspects of it, and I do kind of I did like the hub world in Monster Hunter World. It was cool. It was like, you know, that little safe space, the town. You have that to some degree in this with like the small base camps, but then you also have like other villages, but it's like you can't really do anything there.
Yeah.
Like there's the village that's in the plains, there's the village that's in the icy or the Wyverian. Yeah, there's the forge, you know,
the
and
Wyverian one.
like there's nothing really here. Like you can trade with some people and talk to them, but like it feels like it could have been like really cool and like really unique things at each one. Although you can't like if you want to smelt stuff, you have to go to
Right.
that
or
one,
if you want the
that
melting pot, you got to go to the Wyverian pot.
Yeah, there's that, but it does feel like a little half baked in some sense. Like they could have really done more with these villages, you know? One of my favorite things in World was having my own like fucking quarters, having my own space where all the bugs I caught like would show up. They don't have that anymore.
You can get the endemic life and you can put them up and be like, look at my little flying squirrel, bro. This is my homie.
There must have been data that showed that nobody was doing that. Like, bro, it feels like everything.
That was doing that.
I was doing it too. It feels like this was focus tested so like to death. Like they looked at all the data and they were like, let's YouTube algorithm the fuck out of this and make it the like let's make it what people want, and all the creative aspects that, you know, a lot of other people do appreciate, like we don't need them. Let's just make this basically what people want. And I'm sure like people were saying like it's too hard to get into. I just want to, you know, hunt a monster. I don't want to have to do all this potion crafting, and you know, I don't like
worry
that.
about my builds
favorite armor
doing stupid shit.
Yeah, I don't want my build to have all these negative perks or, you know, all these quirks to. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's what happened, and I mean they got a huge hit on their hands, and maybe it's. I think after some time, people will talk about it differently. I think we're just on a high, or a lot of people are not like, but.
It's the Monster Hunter cycle. It's the Monster Hunter cycle, and it's the same. It's the same cycle as Pokemon, to where everybody from the jump is super excited. They're super ready for it, and then when the game comes out, all the veterans is like, "What the fuck is this?" And then the next game comes out, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, this game's actually cool." Like everybody's going to be talking about Rise in such a beautiful light, even though everybody talked about the wire bugs being like a broken mechanic and making everything easy, and the weird. Remember there was like you pick up the bugs, or it was like fireflies and shit that you pick up, and they like increased your attack and stuff like that in Rise. You had to go around with the dog. Remember you could drift with the dog and shit, and like go.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping some of that. Yeah, I was kind of hoping some of that stuff would come back with the.
Mountain the monsters was way different. You could actually like control the monsters and fight with them.
It was really strange.
People want to talk about this game being easy, and I say I do agree. This game is kind of easy, but it's more so that the wound system just has to be toned down a little bit. It's a little too much right now. But
you think it needs to be rebalanced?
Yeah, because
I do like the idea of it. I think it's well implemented, but I do think that it changes the flow of combat in that like that's sort of the focus of combat now.
Right.
Is creating those DPS windows where you can just fucking go to town on them.
You know, just
yeah, exactly.
Every time.
So it does change fundamentally the flow of battle, because that's, I mean, what you're doing now. But I do like it because it feels like it makes sense. It's like I'm attacking this spot there should be a spot here now where I can do heavy damage, and then it goes away, obviously. But
Yeah, I do like the wound system, and it feels like the most natural. Like that and
yeah,
focus strikes feel like the most natural, and the clash
it
strikes, the
feels
sneak attacks,
natural.
like everything that they've added in terms of
Yes.
like the weapons and everything feels like that makes sense that they would add that. Like even
Yeah.
like the like stab down with the sword and shield, or the fact that like if you do a perfect dodge with dual blades, you now go into like an super demon mode where you have
Okay.
like even more crazy Attack on Titan moves. Like there's some cool shit
Yeah.
there. There's some cool shit there, but it's
Yeah.
I've always felt like for a long time, even from 3, that the hunter's power has gone up, but the monster's power has not gone up in accordance to that. Like, yes,
Mhm.
you know, you have like that one monster that makes the giant snow like storm, and then he turns it into fire, and like you have to run
Yeah.
to the snow block, or like the octopus like with the fire and stuff like that. Like the monsters have cool things that they do,
Yeah.
but they're still going to stand there and get wailed on and then swipe their arm back, or do one swipe, or do a tail flip. They're still going to do the same mannerisms that I've been seeing since the first generation of Monster Hunter. I'm going to see a
Yeah.
Yeon Koot Koot do the full body spin like 3 times while I wailed on it. I'm going to see a Rathalos do a tail flip every single time. I'm going to see him
Mhm.
shoot the fireball 1, 2, 3 every single time. But I, as a player, I'm riding on a sacred. I'm stabbing wounds. I'm jumping back as a sword and shield, jumping over him, stabbing over top. I'm sliding underneath fireballs. I have so many moves that I am doing as a player, and not
Yeah.
alone counting that the environment just like magically works in my favor. There's either a vigor ass bug on the wall, or there's some heat bug on the wall, or there's something I can pick up and throw, or I can grab the environment to pull down on the monster, or I can grab another monster to fight the monster. There's so
Yeah.
much tools to my arsenal to fuck up this monster, but this monster has not evolved with me to do anything crazy. Even the new monsters with the new skeletons, they still aren't up to like the Archveld. That's so
Mhm.
cool that it has the chains that you can like that swipes at you. The Raydu with the laser beam, that's the coolest shit ever, especially once you get into like its little electric arena. That's
Yeah.
so cool. But it's still the same shit. It's gonna shoot 3 lasers in one way. It's gonna do a tail swipe. It's gonna do an arm swipe. It's the same shit, but it's just a different body. And I think I likened this earlier to imagine if you were playing as Sekiro, or like a Elden Ring Night Rain character, but
Mhm.
in Dark Souls 1. All the people still moved like Dark Souls 1. All the bosses still acted like Dark Souls 1. But you can double jump, you can parry, everything has a stagger bar now. You can summon multiple people to fight with you. You can call a horse in, like all these shits that you can do now. And these things have not evolved to stay with the power level that you're at. Not to say that it
Right.
has to,
Right.
but for a veteran, for people that's been playing the series, for even people that wanted more of a challenge, how are you going to give that challenge other than being like, oh, this monster's tempered or frenzied or guardian, or just adding a suffix, prefix and suffix to the monster, and then just increasing how much damage it does when you get hit?
Yeah. Or just
'Cause it's only
increasing its health pool.
right, exactly, because it's only so far that I can go, because it's still the same monster. I'm still going to wound it, and I'm going to attack all the wounds. I'm still going to hammer, like you're still going to do the same strategy. It's just going to take arbitrarily longer because you made it longer by increasing it by 10% or whatever like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I guess improvement on enemy AI would, or like different animations, or maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they would be able to do, because you are right. You do get a lot more at your disposal, and the monsters they don't really do anything else to counteract any of that. And yeah, I guess I'm just thinking about my experience with it recently. There's a couple times where I'm like, fuck, I'm getting my ass kicked. But it was usually because
You were
I
stuck
went
in
in
that.
unprepared.
Yeah.
I went in without I didn't go back and refill my potions, or like I didn't
Shit like that.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay. and then like the fight lasted like 30 minutes. I'm just like, I just lost all 3 of my lives. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like most of the
but
time
that-
I'm just swiping at legs,
Yeah.
and they don't have
Yeah.
anything to counter you swiping at their legs other than flying off or something like that. And it's like, give me a kick or something.
It's still a little janky. You know, I play as Lance, and I feel like the camera still gets caught in the monster sometimes, and I'm like, we still couldn't figure this. This game is so focused on this. You'd think they would have like a better system to manage the view or the angle. Like when I was fighting that giant monster, the ice one with like the fortress looking monster, he is so big, and I'm just like at his legs, but I like kept getting caught in his body. Like geometry would break through, and I'm just like, this is kind of ugly, like, you know. And so camera control is still like really annoying for these games, but ultimately I think they are. This is what happens when things become mainstream, though. This is what happens. This is like, you know, a monkey's paw thing. Like, damn, I wish it's like, you can imagine Monster Hunter 1 coming out on PS2 and being like,
I wish this was mainstream. I wish everybody played Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Or like, I wish, they had better animation or more realistic, whatever. And here we are.
World, and you had like a staff that you can jump around, bro. That'd be so cool.
Or if you had like an animal to ride, that'd be sick.
Bro, imagine if your Palico spoke English, bro. There was a full campaign. That'd be so cool.
Like a story mode? Yeah. You can imagine that's how a lot of the conversation was. And so here we are.
Bro, this is making me definitely afraid for Ninja Gaiden 4 being made by Platinum Games, and that all the people are going to be playing this thinking that like, oh, this is just Platinum Games, and not realizing that it is not a Platinum. Well, it is going to be a Platinum game because Platinum's making it, but it's Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden plays different than the Devil May Cry. It's not about combos. Right. It's about survival. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what happens, man. I don't know. I think sometimes it's okay to create a new product that might be inspired. Like if this was a Monster Hunter spinoff, or is it technically a spinoff? Because it's not numbered. They're not numbered typically.
They're not numbered, but this is technically Monster Hunter 6.
Okay.
Because there was like a thing with like the logos to where like Monster Hunter World's logo had like 5 dragon heads, and then Monster Hunter 6's logo has 6 dragon heads. They're not like, it's not Monster Hunter 5, but it's not Monster Hunter 6, but it is Monster Hunter 5, Monster Hunter 6.
Okay. It's still like mainline Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think that is tricky. Maybe with expansions, it'll get harder. I don't know what they can do. I think
it will.
Broken overall.
They're going to add 30 new monsters, a master rank, and you know, all the bullshit.
Which I never got into. I never got into any of that. So I don't know if I will, because that sounds like a lot of time, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. Just so far, I'm really enjoying it. I think I've got a lot of bang for my buck with this. This is one of those games, like I was saying, where it feels like, damn, this is actually worth this. It feels like it was worth the 70 for some reason. Like most games, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I guess I spent $80 on this game. Yeah, you know, I guess, you know, but like this was one of those games that feels so robust to me that I'm just like, okay, cool. I do feel like I've gotten my money's worth, even though you shouldn't equate time
to money.
Or the amount of content for the money, just more of the quality of the game. But if you're gonna spend $70, I mean, Monster Hunter is a great value.
In that game,
yeah. So playing games wrong. You were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, this is actually a good segue from Monster Hunter Wilds, because this is exactly what I was talking about, where I'm like, I want to play Monster Hunter Wilds how you normally play Monster Hunter, where I just bullshit, you know? I go out and I just mine every ore and, you know, catch all the bugs, fish all the fish. You know, I stare at the wildlife. I grab my binoculars and stare around and stuff like that. And there's nothing stopping me from doing that. But it feels like I'm playing the game wrong, because the game has taught me from the 10-hour tutorial story mode that I should get on my horse and go to the next fight and gather anything that's in my vicinity while I'm going to the next fight. And I'm conditioned to do that. And like you said, this is all optional. I can do it myself. I can go
Mhm.
do that if I want to. But it's like, I don't feel a need, bro. And this got me thinking, like, does playing a game wrong? And that's a subjective term, but like I said it crazy. I still don't know the fuck I was trying to say, but mainly what I'm trying to say.
You did. I was like, what the fuck is this nigga saying?
Like, playing a game wrong at the expense of your enjoyment. Like, if you play the game wrong and you enjoy it more because of that, is that at fault of the developers? Like, is it the because obviously Capcom, when they made Monster Hunter Wilds, they want you to, like I said, ride the secret because it's a cool new feature. They want you to use the auto move because that's a cool new feature, so you can see all the stuff that you can do. They want you to automatically go to the monsters because that's what they want you to do. They want you to do this. They want you to play it this way. But if you want to play it slowly, if you want to play it without a palico, if you want to just play it and just chill out in the environment, you can do that. But it doesn't feel like you should do that. You know what I mean? I think, okay, another example I have of this is a lot of people play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk as like a score attack, hyper speed action game. There's a lot of glitches and like, I don't even want to name the names of the techniques that they have that has them like increasing this. I think it's called like goon maxing, I think is what it's called. For like, it's like a thing that you do where you like, it speeds you up. There's so much like tech in Bomb Rush Cyberpunk that makes it go from like just a chill little Tony Hawk Pro Skater ass Jet Set Radio ass game into like this speedrun insane monster of a game. And for me, when I play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, I kind of just open up the phone, pick a song, and then just skate around, like just cooling it. I don't really do much. I don't even try to get, like, I'll try to get like a high score, like, okay, let me see how long I can get a high score in this area, but I don't try to do all the super crazy tricks or nothing like that. I just chill out. Sometimes I'll even stop and just be like, let me just stare at the people. Let me dance in this area. Let me try to climb up on that building over there. I just use it as a vehicle to have fun in, not to necessarily do an objective or anything like that.
I think that's where me and you are like really the most alike, and that's how I play a lot of games. That's how, honestly, that was one of the reasons that convinced me to get Monster Hunter Wilds, because in the beta all I did was just kind of like walk around. I was just like looking at shit, using the like capture net, spying on monsters, like slowly following them and stalking them and see like where they were going and what they were doing. And you know, obviously I spent a lot of time in the armor customization. I'll just buy armor because I think it looks cool. I don't even need it, waste resources on that. And then, you know, obviously in a high rank you can change the cosmetics of it, so I'm fucking around with that all the time. And I feel like I play a lot of games like something made me, when we had the Dynasty Warrior, the Kobe cast with Chris that one time, I think we were maybe just talking about Warriors Orochi. I don't remember if it was a status check or if it was an actual episode, but I realized the way you guys were talking about Dynasty Warriors is different from the way that I've always played it, because I guess I just don't pay attention to a lot of these, like, I never paid attention to the battle names, never paid attention to what any character was doing. I knew which characters I liked, and I would like play as them, and I would like walk around and like really pay attention, like their animations and like their attack styles. But like when Chris is doing his, which I mean reminds me, I still need to send him.
Me too. Yeah, we need to knock that out.
but yeah, when he talks about, you know, the games that all the Warriors games on his channel, and I'm like, oh, I've never paid attention to any of that. Like, I don't care about who's doing what and how they act and how they change from game to game. I don't care about how a specific battle is represented, or like all the like story elements and maybe like the Three Kingdoms stuff. Like, it's cool to me. I do like it, but like I've just never like like the alternates, or what do you call them?
The alternate costumes and stuff.
No. The scenarios, the what if scenarios. Like, yeah, like people love those. Like Dynasty Warriors players love that, but I've never cared to play any of that. Like,
Yeah.
but I've sunk hundreds and hundreds upon hours of in these games, and so I just feel like I've never played them. And the same with Demon Souls. Demon Souls, I've always just loved like the vibes there. Like it was just like quiet, you know, and you're
facts.
just like, you know, and I just walk around. I walk slowly. Honestly, the part I hate the most about those games is fighting like the big boss, and I'm just like, I just want to get to the next area and like see. Like I don't mind fighting the peons.
Okay, we're on the same wavelength with that, bro. I'll be playing Dark Souls. I think that's why I wanted to play through all the Dark Souls, because like I just love going through the areas and just like standing on a ledge, like what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like the sense of exploration. Yeah, you know, it's big in those games because it's like, you know, Metroidvania in some sense, where you're like going back and forth, finding these tunnels, finding these ways to get around, exploring, and every area does feel new because like what's gonna happen here. But then you get to the boss fight, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to fucking do this. Like I just want to get to the next thing. And now, you know, people, you know, are making builds for the boss fights and all that, and I'm like, I guess I feel a little left out in a lot of those conversations because
I just be using whatever.
Yeah, like it's just like the meta of it, you know. We talk about like how like people optimize the fun out of things, and the conversation becomes about like,
so you want to get 30 strength and 30 vigor and then 30 endurance, and then you want to put the rest of your points in and adapt them, but like stop, bro.
Yeah.
Then when you're gonna want to max out your sword immediately with a +5, and if you're going strength, then you want to go a raw build. Like shut the fuck up, please. I hate all that.
Like
shit,
I was watching a Monsterhunterwilds video because I've been using the bow and the lance, and I was like, the bow's pretty fun. And then I watched like a 30-minute video on like how to use it, and I was like, I think I just made this not fun now that I know like how to use it. Like which I'm always afraid of, you know. But sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm not doing this right. But then I watch a video and it shows me everything about it, and then I'm like, I kind of don't want to play this anymore.
See, I did the same thing with the sword and shield, bro. I watched a video because I was like, bro, what is this counter move that I'm doing, bro?
Yeah.
And like, because like if you do a perfect guard, you can do like a slash, and that does a lot of damage. And I was like, what does it do? Because it's not in the directions like in the game. So I was like, what does it do? And like, they don't tell you. So I had to watch a video, and this is a 30-minute video of somebody breaking out each combo. Like, this is the optimal combo when the monster's down. You're gonna want to use your perfect. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up, please.
Yeah.
That's not how I play Sword and Shield, bro. Like, I play Sword and Shield a completely different way, and this is, I don't care what you say. I'm gonna play it this way. Same with trying to think of another crazy game. Destiny. Destiny is a great example of this. I was a big Destiny head. And for me, the biggest thing about Destiny that I enjoyed was the lore and the world building. I loved just like riding around in my Sparrow and just going around and trying to find every nook and cranny and any invisible wall and bullshit that I can like get through. I loved just shooting monsters and just seeing them interact with each other. I loved just chilling in Destiny. I didn't care about exotics. I didn't care about builds. I didn't care about armor, surges, or any of that bullshit. All I wanted to do was just collect the exotics, not even use them. Just collect them, use them a little bit, be like, oh, look at that. It does electric. Wow, that's crazy. And then put it back in my vault and hunt some more. That's all I wanted to do, bro. I love doing dungeons in there because it was just simple. You just run in, do your dungeons, and you can enjoy your stuff. And then if I wanted to explore, I could just go around the world and explore it. I liked that. But Destiny became built. It became very build heavy. So like even every time I go back for an expansion, it's a lot of oh, you need to do the seasonal so you can get these armor perks and get these surges, and then oh, if you're running this, you need to, like, I did a raid in preparation for getting ready for the final shape raid, which I still didn't do. Crazy to think, but I was doing Vault of Glass, which is the very first raid that you do in Destiny. They have it in Destiny 2. I know how to run it, and I'm running it with like a bunch of random people, and all the people are staring, they're inspecting each person in the raid. They're like, oh, you need to put change this armor perk to this armor perk, and it'll give you. And I'm like,
And like they're looking at me and they're like, why are you going void warlock? And I'm like, because I like being a void warlock. I like throwing the giant Nova bomb. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, we need you to go sun so you can use the healing thing. And I'm like, bruh, we're gonna beat this. It's the easiest shit in the world, bro. Like we've been playing this for 10 years, bro. Like we all know how to do Void of Glass. Just let us run it through, bro. Like it doesn't matter, bro. We can run it. It doesn't matter. But like,
Yeah.
people will optimize the fun out of everything. And it feels wrong to say that playing the game wrong is playing the game without the meta or suboptimally. But that's just the way that gaming culture has become, to where if you're not playing by the meta, then you're playing the game wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that multiplayer games, Marvel Rivals, right? Great characters, you know, great designs, fun kits, unique kits. But then it becomes immediately about the optimization of how you're using each character. And then it's like, I just can't be a Captain America and play out that fantasy. It's like, I need to be doing a specific thing with him, or I need to be somebody else. If you're going to play that way, then you need to play as this person, because it's like, well, then I don't really want to play then. Like, I just want to be who I want to be and play how I want to. Like, if I suck, I suck. I mean, I'll get better, but like, it's sad in some way that like you can really take the fun out of it because it becomes so competitive or so focused on like playing it a specific way. Like, you can't just be, you know, Cloak and Dagger and be this way. You need to play this character like this, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how many times, there's so many times I'm like, God, I wish I could play that character, but I can't because I'm not a good DPS. So I guess I can never play as
me with
this.
Scarlet Witch. I love Scarlet Witch's whole kit. I love how everything interacts, like the little invisible phase and like the ultimate. I love everything about Scarlet Witch. But like, I mean, I've tried to play her in like competitive, but it's like, it's such a strange dichotomy because like you have to play her a special way. Like you have to dive and then you have to support and then you got to do this. Or like a lot of people play Cloak and Dagger as a heal bot. They'll just do nothing but healing. And I don't play that way. Like if I ult, I'm going in and I'm attacking everybody that's in my vicinity. If it's everybody's up to health, I'm in Cloak. I'm doing damage. I'm trying to flank somebody. I'm doing something. And people like get mad at me or be like, "Oh no, why are you doing that?" Or for example, last season, every game it was Hela, Hawkeye, Bruce Banner. And now this season it's Bruce Banner, Storm, Wolverine, Groot. Like it's like you get the same bands every time, and it's like, bro, you're not gonna experiment. You're not gonna learn anything. Everybody's playing the same characters. Nobody wants to learn anything because they're like, this is my meta character. This is who I know. Oh, they have a diver, play Namor, and it's like, or the healer can switch to a Mantis or a Loki or a Luna that can handle a diver. But you know, the meta is the meta, and the meta will never change. It's why the MMO genre has been dead for years, bro.
There has to be a game that's gonna come out that's gonna be like
anti-meta.
It's not that I want a game to be a cakewalk, you know. It's not like I want it to be like easy. I think like I just want a game with like some atmosphere for me to like walk around and explore and like have fun. And that's why Dynasty Warriors, that's why I liked having all the characters, because well, sure, you can't really like explore in traditional Dynasty Warriors. You're just, you know, like fighting. It was cool to like play a new character and figure out their like move set and just watch all their moves and see how they played.
Yeah.
And that was like the most exciting part of it, you know, to me. But obviously that was taken away for whatever reason, to make room for a more linear story and all that. And you get different weapons, but you only get 10 weapons, whereas there was 80 different characters, you know, in previous games. So it's kind of strange, but I feel like there's going to be some developer that will make a game that we're sort of looking for. Like that'll be like the tagline. It'll be like, you know, for niggas. for slow
real
niggas.
This is for real niggas, bro. Like, okay, here's what it is, bro. I feel like I've been spoiled over the years, and I feel like at this point in my gaming career, I'm just playing games, bro.
Like I'm playing Flintlock and I'm like, I get the God of War influences. I get the Dark Souls influences. This game's not really going to show me anything interesting. Or a Trepang, which is just literally Fear 4. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, this is the same shit. But then I think about like experiences I had with, like, for example, Arcade. That was the most immersive. Like, I never hit max level in Arcade. For all the hundreds of, it's a MMO that came out forever ago. There's supposed to be a sequel coming out, but I'm afraid of it because it became incredibly pay to win and it just fell off. But there was like instances where like you could escape over the map into like the infinitely rendering like negative zone, they called it. Because you know, like, you know, you go over like a hill in a game and it's like that flat plane of just fuckery. People would fly over there and they would like plant illegal farms because there was a land system in the game where you can have a house and it was like a static area and you can plant a farm and all that stuff there. So you can plant anywhere in the world, but anybody can steal your stuff. So they would plant all their valuable stuff in these like negative zones. So people will be flying over trying to find people's negative zones to steal their valuable fruits and vegetables and stuff like that.
Interesting.
I ran a fishing boat. So I crafted a boat. I got enough money. I crafted an actual boat, had to actually summon the boat, fly around. I had a couple dudes with me and we hired this mercenary guild that would go out on another boat and they would just be around our boat to deter any pirates from coming and stealing our stuff, because each fish that you catch was like a trade pack. And then you could take that and we would sail to the other continent because we'd be on the island. So it was like east or west. We would sail from one continent to another continent, fight off krakens and other sea monsters and pirates and all that stuff, deliver the fish while we're fishing and get like money that way. That was the most immersive experience I've ever had in the game, because it was like I had to collaborate. I had to be like, okay, if you're going to hire you, we're going to get a 30% cut of whatever we make. So don't try to like switch up on us, because we will tell your guild leaders. There was a prison system, like you can get called for jury duty. So like if people stole stuff and got caught or killed people, you can actually like send them to jail and be called for jury to be like, yeah, that guy did kill me, bro. I remember. Like it was such an experience. And the only time I ever had an experience like that was like Mabinogi. And I feel like this is the issue when it comes with a lot of games, especially because the fact that we have a lot of games that are focused primarily on single player or single player-esque interactions. When you play a Escape from Tarkov, or when you play a Division or Dark Souls, or, you know, Dragon's Dogma, any of these games, you look them up on YouTube and you have somebody that's like, this is the best fighter build, or this is the best sword and shield build, or this is the best boot to boot build, because like that's what people are known to do. But like in MMOs, that was kind of the thing that you did just because like you needed to do that to survive, but you didn't necessarily have to do that. Like ESO, when I played ESO, I was a dragon knight that used a great sword and a healing staff, and I was running commandos and zergs while we took out bases all the time. That was my thing. I loved doing it. It was my favorite thing to do in ESO. I leveled up from level 10 to 50 by doing nothing but PvP World v World. That's all I did. And I got to level 50 doing nothing but that, because there's still dungeons in there. There's still sky shards. There's still quests that you can do in there. So it was still an open world. There's stuff that you can do. And I think for gaming, in order to get away from the meta problem, you have to make it to where there's no such thing as a meta, because there's always going to be a meta, but you have to incentivize people to go outside of the box, to try the experiment. And I think a lot of people, especially because of playing League of Legends and Dota 2 and whatever insert game here, they're so used to there being a static way to play something. If you play League of Legends for 10 years and you've only built Vi as a tank, you're not going to try to build Vi as an assassin or as an AP mage or anything like that. There's no way to do that. It's just not physically possible. It's not going to work. You're going to lose. Whereas in any other game, you could build this person that's supposed to be a tank as a mage, and it might work out.
Did Dragons? I'm thinking about Dragon's Dogma. And that like whole world, because it uses the RE engine as well, right?
Yeah,
it uses the same engine as Monsterhunter. And I was kind of just
performance issues.
Yeah, and I was kind of just like thinking about our experience with that. Was there meta guides for that game? I can't remember if there was like.
Yes, there was meta guides.
I think there was. Yeah, I think because I feel like part of the component is anytime you introduce multiplayer into these games, that's sort of where the meta, like the metazation of games starts to really like, build up. Because I feel like once you get other people playing the same game, it's like, well, I want to have the best thing. I want to have something better than you, or something that can beat you, or something that is, But maybe that's not true, because I feel like it's also inherent for people to want like to have the most optimal build for a specific thing.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Because I guess, like I said, we would just be playing it wrong. Because when I play like a Fallout 3 or New Vegas or a Skyrim, I don't build my character to be a demigod and everything. Like, I'm not getting 100 speechcraft, illusion, or two-handed. Like, I make a character that's like, okay, this character this time, he uses just one-handed, no shield. And I don't know, fire magic and fire magic only. Like, I build characters like that, or like Fallout 4. I think my character was strictly a revolver guy. Like, if it wasn't a revolver, he was using his fist. And that's how I played it. And like some people just don't play like, that's what I'm saying. Some people don't play like that. They go, I just pick up whatever. If it's a fat head, I grab a fat head. I just play whatever I gotta play. Skyrim, I would just do everything, and I don't like doing everything. Like, I don't join the Thieves Guild if I'm not a thief. I don't join the Dark Brotherhood if I'm not a killer.
Yeah, I do want to go back to Dragon's Dogma and play the Wayfarer class. Yeah, in Dragon's Dogma 2, because I feel like maybe the game would. I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking about like that thing that we're talking about, just like observing a world and walking around in it. And Dragon's Dogma 2 had that for sure. Just no sacred.
Yeah. I mean,
you're still fighting dragons.
Everybody keeps talking about some, bro, I don't like that you had to fight the same goblins. Bro, I love that shit, bro. What did you want to fight?
That's true. That is true. They kept jumping you. It was like the same group of goblins.
Yeah. Like, I kind of like that shit, though. I kind of fuck with it. I mean, that's what happened in Dragon's Dogma 1. You fought a bunch of dragons and lizardmen and harpies. It's the same shit.
Yeah, I did not mind it at all. But I think I feel like the goblins sometimes they didn't feel like they were, it's like they weren't protecting like a stronghold. It just felt like they were randomly populated, and that was sort of the main issue I think that I ran into, is that they kind of felt video gamey, and that they were just like, oh, they're here now, and then again there's another group of them here. I'm like, are they communicating? Are they like coordinating this? Because it just feels like a lot of goblins just doing
here,
nothing,
man. They just vibing,
they're just here to get their ass beat, like essentially. Like, it's like the game was just putting them everywhere. Like, they weren't spaced out in like a cohesive way, it felt. But
it's like Batman, bro. It's like, why is there 1,000 goons in Batman right here? And they're all like, oh shit, it's the bat. Ah,
it's the bat. Yeah. What is the concept of junk food games?
Okay, so me and the missus are playing Nicktoons Unite Battle for Volcano Island. This is the most mid-ass, disgusting children's tie-in game that you'll ever play, but it's the most fun fucking game I've played all year. I love this game, bro. I just be collecting
I remember
shit.
playing this on GameCube. What are you playing it on? PS2?
I'm playing it on GameCube, yeah.
GameCube, yeah.
I love it. I love it. There's a lot of junk food games, like, for example, Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is a junk food game. Shrek 2.
So like what? Like a game that's just like trash, but it's just like mind-numbing game, like a back podcast game, like a fucking.
I'd say a game that is bad. Is bad. Like, it's bad, but it's good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
okay, I'm trying to think of something here.
I'm like Turning Point. Turning Point last year, I played that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, junk food game. It's a shitty shooter, bro. Horrible shooter. But it was fun as fuck. It was just fun as fuck to be in World War II, storming the White House to kill the president because he became a Nazi. That was cool as shit, bro. I gotta stop the nukes from destroying Manhattan. I'm Tony. Like, that's cool, bro. I'm just a little Italian dude building the Eiffel Tower. Not Eiffel Tower, the not World Trade Center. What's the tallest building? What's that shit called?
The tallest building.
Empire State Building.
State?
Yeah, the Empire State Building. I'm just building the Empire State Building. Nazis attack. I just gotta handle my business. Like, that's cool. Legendary, I fight griffins. This game is ass. But it was fun because I was fighting griffins and minotaurs and fucking harpies and shit. That was cool. That's a junk food game. A junk food game is a game that's ass. Like, I don't want to say objectively because I want to take that word out of my vocabulary. But it's like, it's bad. Like, like if you were looking at this critically, like if this was like a back of the rack like Wet is a junk food game, bro. If you take it out of the context of back of the rack and you just put it in and was like, I'm just gonna play this bullshit, you would have enjoyed it. You would have been like, this is some fun shit, bro. Ha, ha, ha. Look at it. But because you have to think about it a little bit more critically, then it's like, I'm not fucking with this. But because it's just like, whatever. It's just throw in the club. Fuck it. Just throw in Blitz the League. I don't want to say Blitz the League is a junk food game. I do not want to set that connotation.
I guess I'm just trying to think of like games that I play that it might be like. In my mind, a junk food game would be like a game that is a waste of time, but I play it anyways. Like I should be playing something else, and I'm playing
another
this game.
Great version. Yeah, Britney Spears dance beat.
So I'm thinking of like, I feel like I waste a lot of time, and I do feel like Dynasty Warriors will waste a lot of my time. I'm like, I'm not. I should be playing something else. That whole series
is a junk food game, yeah.
Like, unless it's a game that I go back to sometimes when I don't have anything to play. But I feel like, I don't know, my mind thinks of like Diablo as a junk food game.
It is technically a junk food game. It's a time sink.
Or like Marvel Rivals in some sense in my mind. Or a Fortnite. Like these games feel like junk food.
Games that you just go into the abyss and you don't come out of, and then you go, damn, I could have been eating something healthier.
Yes, like binge on them.
Now that you say it, that's a better definition than just bad games.
yeah, because I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like junk food.
League of Legends was a junk food game for years, bro. MMOs is a junk food genre.
Like if somebody says like, oh, I play Call of Duty, I'm like, oh, you eat junk food.
Yeah. See, we're getting it. We're getting there now. Yeah. Battlefield, okay. Fortnite, 2K.
Like objectively not bad games, but they're junk. It's junk.
You could be playing Flintlock. You could be playing Wild Hearts. You could be playing Tales of Kazoo or whatever the African game is. You could be playing some games, but instead you decide to play Call of Duty for the 17th year in a row.
It's junk food. That's just junk food. Yeah.
We are 2 months away from them announcing another Call of Duty and people being like, Call of Duty's back, baby. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. You gonna grind for them damn prestige points again for a whole another year? You gonna buy another 2K build? You gonna spend another $150 on a 2K build again? Junk food. That's
junk food.
That's 2 AAA games. $70. You gonna spend $150 on Call of Duty. You gonna spend all that money on that battle pass on Fortnite, buying some damn Jordans and some jam tracks and some skins and some dances. Nigga, that's 3 AAA games you could have bought. You could have bought a full year of PlayStation Plus Extra, whatever the highest tier is, and played all them games for free.
I'm telling you, man, there really is something about the social component that drives people to play these games, I would say. Because even you, like having put so many hours into Marvel Rivals, I'm like, I wonder if it was not a multiplayer game. Like, let's just say it's the same game, but it's not competitive.
Like if it was PvE, I would put more hours into it.
No. If it was like not an online game, not a game with other people.
Yeah, if it was a game with not other people, like if it was just like a Marvel like third person
Yeah.
Borderlands,
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you wouldn't have.
bruh, I would be playing the
think you
fuck
would've
out. I would be on like my 10th playthrough right now, bro. What the fuck?
I know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'd put a lot more time in it if it was like
Yeah,
basically
I
like a
think for me,
Borderlands or
Marvel
something like
Rivals
that.
was like it was a bet. See, okay, I had a thing that I was gonna do, but I bowed out. I can't play that fucking game no more. I said to myself, because my friends love to rant on me and talk about how I'm not the gamer. Oh, you be playing games for a week and then you be moving on. Mind you,
That
I'm the
is
only one that
insane.
actually be playing games, right? So I was like,
That's
oh,
so
word,
annoying.
y'all want to be the competitive gamers and y'all want to talk about me not playing games? Okay, word, bet. I'm still the highest rank, even though I stopped playing Marvel Rivals for like a week. I was going to make it the Grandmaster. That's what I was saying. I was going to make it the Grandmaster, and then I was going to make a diss track. I was going to pull up the Ether beat, and I was going to make a diss track, and I was going to cuss all these motherfuckers out. I was going
did
to
not
go
know you were going to
in.
these lengths.
I was going to go. So I only played Marvel Rivals out of the pure hatred and hater in my heart, just to prove people wrong and just to show them that
You were playing
I'm
it
better
in
than.
spite. Yeah, I remember this. I was like, damn.
Because I would
You're
have
playing
quit
this
when
out
like after season 0 or whatever. I would have quit. I would have played Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic a little bit and been like, oh yeah, that was cool. Anyway, back to playing some more games. But they kept talking shit, and I can't. I refuse to let people talk shit. I can't. You go low, I go to hell.
I can't believe that people say that you're not a gamer.
It's not that they say I'm not a gamer. They say that I be playing a game like every week, and like they be like I be shilling. They'd be like, bro, look at him. He over here shilling another game, bro. And I'm like, because I
Like,
play games.
What's an example?
For example, I was shilling Monster Hunter because I was like, hey, y'all should cop Monster Hunter with me. This is the new game. It's a new game. It's the best one. Y'all should play it, bro. Come on. And now I'm done playing Monster Hunter, essentially. Like, I can move on. And like, they're like, hey, bro, what do you think about Monster Hunter? I was thinking about copping it. And I'm like, I'm done with it. And they're like, bro, see, this is what I'm talking about, bro. And I'm like, no, it's just that I copped this game a week ago when I said cop it, and you guys didn't. Baldur's Gate 3. We all caught Baldur's Gate 3. I'm the only one to beat Baldur's Gate 3. It'd be shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. Or it's like they keep saying like, hey, bro. Like they say, hey, play a game. And I play the game. And I play the fuck out of the game. But then they say, and then I say, hey, play a game. And they say no because you're not going to play the game. And it's like, bro, I beat 100 games last year. I'm never doing that shit again, bro. I don't want to do that. I be playing games. I'm sorry. I'm ranting right now. I'm sorry. Let me stop. I can go on this forever, bro. Niggas.
I think you're a real gamer.
That's all that matters, bro. As we host our gaming podcast and our gaming book club.
Speaking of games, let's now that we're talking about if we're true gamers or not, I asked you to list your top 10 games of all time. Mainly because I think it should highlight where your sort of tastes come from and what you like out of games and things like that. And sometimes I think I get confused, or I'm like, oh wait, why did he hate this game, or why didn't he like this? And so it's good to know like what is your benchmark titles, what are the titles that define you and all that. So I've asked you to list your top 10 games of all time, and we can go through the honorable mentions quickly, but I want to go through each of your games here, and we'll talk a little bit about them. You know, nothing crazy, but why you like it so much. And yeah, so I will go first to set the precedent.
Is this in order, or is this no? This is general.
There's just no way this.
Oh, mine's in order. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's okay. Yeah, it's not in order. But yeah, one of my top 10 games of all time. I feel like I'm missing something in here. I don't know. It was kind of I felt like there's just I'm not getting everything, but I think this is it. The first one is Shadow of the Colossus, right? That game is both a nostalgia pick, but also very artistically formative. I think I've talked about this game before in the past, but I've always just loved that this game is basically what we were talking about earlier of just like, let me just be in a quiet place, walk around, explore, very atmospheric, heavy on atmosphere, and it's awe-inspiring in a lot of ways. And I just love the music, love the environments. Think it's honestly a 10 out of 10. I haven't even played the remaster on the PS4, but I intend to at some point.
You should.
But,
It's great.
Did you play it?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's a good remaster or remake, I guess.
It's like 1-to-1, bro. It's just Shadow of Colossus, but prettier. It's great.
Okay, so you can go ahead with your next one. Or your
mine
first one, I guess.
Mine is in order, but Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2.
See, that makes sense.
That's my favorite game of all time, bro. I fucking love that game, bro. I played that game last week. Bro, I literally play it like at least like every other week, bro. I play that shit like bi-weekly, bro. I just love playing it. It's just fun. I'll just be like, today I'm gonna play a hero story. Today I'm just gonna raise some chow. I'm gonna do some side missions. I just love every single aspect of that game. Every Knuckles level, every Rouge level, every Eggman level, every Tails level, every Sonic level, every Shadow level. I just love it all. Man, bro. If you rip my brain out, nothing but I call myself Aquatic Mind in human form for a reason, bro. It's because the vibes of Aquatic Mind as a stage is me as a person. I love that game.
Yeah,
every single aspect of that game calls out to me, and it's also the reason why I love GameCube, because it was one of the first. Yeah, when I got my GameCube, I got Sonic Adventure 2, The Hobbit, X2, Wolverine's Revenge,
The Hobbit,
and fucking Pokemon Coliseum. And
oh wow, you got all those games at once?
Yeah, that was like my Christmas gift. It was like all of those, and it was like, here's your GameCube, and I was like, oh shit. Pokemon. I could finally, that was my first Pokemon game, was Pokemon Coliseum. And I was like, oh shit. And then I realized I liked Sonic Adventure 2 Battle more than I liked anything else. So played the fuck out of Sonic Adventure.
My second one is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Again, I'm big on atmosphere, and I think that I also like horror elements in my game as well. And I think Resident Evil 2 Remake, I just really liked exploring that precinct, the police precinct. I thought it was masterfully done. I thought it felt so good to play too. The lighting, everything was like smooth as butter. The animations, you walking as Leon or Claire, like all the secrets. That's also a 10 out of 10 for me, and that's a game that I constantly think about playing again. But yeah, because there's so many games to play, sometimes I just put it on the side. But I've jumped into it like several times. Yeah. I don't want to like belabor it and be like, well, let me just always play these top 10 games. There's gonna be a time, I'm sure, where I can go back and really appreciate them and maybe be like, this is not my top 10 anymore. But I don't know. I played Resident Evil 2 Remake twice, both as Leon and Claire, and yeah, I just enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. I haven't even played the original. I just played the remake,
which is so fucking crazy to me, bro. Please,
I just,
bro. Please.
Like, I'm sorry, I have played it, but I haven't beaten it. It's just something I never beat. I think I got probably I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way through. I was not far into it. But yeah, that's one of my top 10s. And then yours.
No More Heroes. I loved No More Heroes, and I kind of felt like I kind of snuck No More Heroes in the back of the rack by accident. Like I didn't realize until we played back of the rack. I knew it was like up there, just like Dragon's Dogma. I knew Dragon's Dogma was up there, but I didn't know that it was like number 2 for me until we did No More Heroes. And I was like, once I replayed it, I was like, I guess just older me got a finer appreciation, maybe because I understood a lot more of the dialogue and a little bit more of the nuance of the themes that they were trying to explain with each of the assassins. But also, Sent to Destroy as a city is just a vibe.
You like it? I mean, it was definitely nice being able to like, we haven't really been able to dissect any of my top 10 games really, but being able to, we did Dragon's Dogma, so yeah, we got one. But yeah, No More Heroes, being able to like dissect one of like your favorites definitely would probably like make you appreciate it more, because that's what we did. You know, you played it with someone else, and we got to like sit and talk about it and all that.
My spleen. I'm sorry.
I
was waiting.
My spleen. Oh, that's good. That's good. Silent Hill 2, of course. I preferred the original over the remake. The remake was good, but I think it takes a lot of way. It does add a lot, but I think it takes a lot of the stuff that I liked away from it. Like for instance, changing the soundtrack, and then also adding more monsters, which was my least favorite part of these games. But yeah, that's a very personal game to me. Obviously Silent Hill is a huge vibe. You're talking about Santa Destroy being a vibe. Like I want to live in Silent Hill. Like
I don't know about that.
That town, like that. Or at least explore it. Like give me
without the monsters.
Give me like
I'll vibe with it.
But yeah, that's mine. So you can go next.
Wind Waker. She's a weird pick, but it also makes it hard because I don't know, playing Ocarina of Time to start this year off and quitting made me realize I really fuck with Wind Waker, and I don't give a shit about Ocarina of Time. Like Wind Waker is so fun. Just the fact that you like are on a boat and you're like sailing and you have to change the wind and you can like dive for treasure. Like it's so much that you can do in Wind Waker. I really felt like that's the closest of like a pirate game that will like ever truly get is Wind Waker. Like there's of course games where you sail and you do all the bullshit, but like there's nothing like Wind Waker and like pulling out the map and being like, it's on D3. All right, we're going this way, and like sailing away. It's such a fun vibe. Putting the treats out so that the fish can eat it and like draw the map on your map so you have the island on there. Like it's a lot of cool shit in there that I just think
if we ever play a Zelda game for Back to the Rack, it'd probably have to be Wind Waker, right? Or Twilight Princess. Which one is the one that
it'll be Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, yeah. Wind Waker though, I have fond memories of as well. Maybe I should put that in there, but I never beat it. I feel like the game was too hard for me at the time that I played it. I was like, I don't understand.
I actually never beat it until I bought it with collecting.
Recently.
I think I bought Sonic Adventure and Wind Waker first, and beating it. That was the first time I beat it. Was when I first bought it again, and I was like, damn, this is a completely different game, bro. Like this is crazy.
It's kind of. Is it not a little difficult, or is it just me?
It's very difficult even now, bro.
I
was playing it like, hold on, this shit kind of crazy, bro. What the fuck?
I remember it was like very intimidating. And I was like, this feels massive. Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns is in my top 10. This is like one of the first action RPGs I remember playing a couple years back. Came out 2010, so you know, not super old. But I think that I love I love dressing up in games. I'll be honest. Like I love dressing a character up, and that's the whole basis of this game. But like, you can like fight in these different outfits, and they like are essentially different roles, you know. And it gives you like full customization, and the camera work in it is so cool. Like your actual fighting, like it's just so cool. Like it's a cool looking game. It feels great to play once you like get the mechanics down, and it has an incredible soundtrack, and that's really all it takes. I do think it runs like ass. I wish they would remaster these three games.
Man, bring back Final Fantasy 13. We're gonna bring it justice when we do it for Back of the Rack, man.
Yeah, but yeah, it's up there. It's a defining game for me. Absolutely top 10, and it maybe might be like, if I had to organize it, it'd probably be like number 2 or 3, I would say.
That's interesting. The only thing I know about Lightning Returns is back when I worked at GameStop, there was this girl that was obviously maybe special, and she used to slobber a lot. And she would come in and she would just she would come in and she would just talk nonstop about lightning and the whole lore of Final Fantasy 13. And you know, this is before Versus 13. And I mean, this is like Versus 13 era. So like she'd be like, yeah, Versus 13's gonna, and she would just like slobber and like hug me and be like, oh my gosh, bro, you're my, what's the black dude's name on that fucking
Saz?
Yeah,
or
bro.
Sage?
She'd be like,
Saz or Sage, something like that.
that's what she would be like, you're my sage. And I'd be like, what does that mean, bro? And I was like, bro, please. But yeah, that's all I know.
Wait, was she black?
No, it was like some like little white girl. So like
awkward.
Yeah, it was just, and like mind you, this is when I first started working at GameStop. So I'm just like stocking shelves, like, are y'all going to help me, bro? And they're just like, no, bro, it's your turn.
Harassment. It's your turn. Oh shit.
She was like one of those regulars. Like when her parents would go to the grocery store, she would be like, all right, mom, I'm going to GameStop and I'm gonna go hang out in there until you're done grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So I guess she would just talk to whoever was there, but I would be the one, and I was just like, yeah, cool, RPGs, yeah, me too, yeah, I'd be playing Record of Agarus War or whatever. She was like, no, lightning, and I was like, okay.
I don't know how you would feel about Lightning Returns. I think you would like it, but
hey, if it's as good as the Chocobo song, I'ma love it. The soundtrack is crazy.
Yes, the soundtrack is crazy. Anyways, what is your next top, or what's on your next? What's next on your top 10 list? Fuck.
Def Jam Fight for New York. This game.
This was a surprise to me. This was I was like, what the?
This is surprising, nigga. What?
No. I know you like the game. Like, you know, like there's.
What?
Your honorable mentions have games that I knew you liked. I just didn't know that it would be in your top 10 at number 4. Like that's like, I'm like, oh, it was shit,
honestly for like a long time. That. Like mentally for a long time, it was like 2.
Crazy.
I love Def Jam Fight for New York, bro.
I gotta play that again.
I played it in tournaments. Me and my dad used to play Def Jam Fight for New York so much, like through the whole story mode. We used to make rappers at the current time in the game. Like we made like Eminem and like Little John and like Andre.
Oh, there's a character creation. That's right.
Yeah, we would literally make like all the rappers and like singers and stuff like that and have them like go through the story mode. Like I've played through that story mode hundreds probably of times. Like it's at the point now where I could probably beat it in like an hour or 2 type. Like if I skip all the cutscenes, I could probably beat it in like an hour or 2. Like I've optimized like how to use each style, like how to parry, how to do all, like I probably not anymore, but like back then, yeah, I could play this game. I could play this game a lot. I just love the fact that it's rappers. It's so original. Yeah. It's all these rappers and famous people, and they're just fighting. And it's a
silly concept, but it takes itself so seriously.
Exactly. Like Snoop Dogg's so like, I'm gonna take your girl.
Yeah. It's like, wait, what? Who? Like, is Diddy in that game?
No. You fight Sticky Fingers in a fiery building as your girlfriend Carmen Electra is tied up. You fight Danny Trejo in a subway station to the death. Like this is the shit that you fight Fat Joe like 3 times and he's like the worst.
They were having fun with it,
bro. This shit is fun, bro. It's so fun, bro.
All right, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain.
You know, I should have put that in the honorable mentions.
That is again a game that lets you explore the world, and it has a great game feel, great mechanics. While the story might not make sense to a lot of people and might not make sense even in world, it's still fun. I think there's some great cutscenes in it. Dude, it's just so, you can do so much in that game. The sandbox.
Right. I love knocking people out and then like sending them flying and like
halting them. Yeah. That's a game that I can go back to. Although one game that I haven't replayed the story, I think I've put in like 100, 200 hours into Phantom Pain, but not like, I always think about going back and replaying that story. But
yeah, I mostly did like the post game stuff of like the nuclear warheads and stuff. That's kind of most of the stuff, like invading bases. That's like most of the playthrough that I remember. I can't really remember. That's something I should probably go back and play that. You're right. I should go back and play that.
Yeah, and it's God, it's just so fucking good. Love the style of it. You know, I think it's a 10 out of 10.
It's so satisfying when you get caught in a slow-mo and you go like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you didn't catch me.
It's like, you know, we're talking about earlier Monster Hunter and how maybe the gameplay has been perfected. I feel like Phantom Pain is where all the systems like perfected.
Yes.
Like the amount of options, like nothing is like overly simplified where it's like this is too easy. Like it gives you all the options. They're easy to do. The like the NPCs or whatever that you're fighting are still pretty aggressive. You know, you don't want to get in a firefight with like more than 3 of them because
they'll kill you.
They'll kill you out. Like it's great. It's a great game.
Yeah. For me, number 5, and this is like a realization that I've just recently come to understanding, is Bust a Groove on PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I love that game, man. Especially now that I have it, like, I don't have a physical copy. I need to get a physical copy, but like just having it on command on the Steam Deck, you don't understand how many times I've like it's between that and Giga Wings. When I'm on my Steam Deck, those are the 2 games I'm playing. I'm either playing a round of Giga Wings or I'm playing a round of Buster Groove. I just love every song, the soundtrack, the gameplay. It's so fun. I've understand now that Buster Groove is low-key a fighting game, but it's still a rhythm game at the end of the day, and I think that's like super, super cool. It's just something that they'll never make ever again type thing. It's so cool. It's the style, the rotoscoped like dances and mocap, my fault. Like all that is just, it's such a vibe, man. I'd add it to the list if it wasn't like $100 or something like that just for a physical copy.
God damn.
It's like 180 or something crazy like that for a physical copy of that game, but I'd add it to the list. It's BOTR as fuck. It's BOTR as fuck.
Buster Groove. Yeah, I don't know much about Buster Groove. Division 2. I think I've talked about Division 2 on here a couple times. There's not much to say. I think you know why I like Division 2. Specifically Division 2. I have not played Division 1, so I mean, maybe the same things. I probably would like Division 1 if it's similar to Division 2, but yeah. Another game that completely captured me in its world design, just exploration, great atmosphere, great setting, Washington, D.C.
That's not a great setting. It's like, no.
Well, like for a game, like it's like not post-apocalyptic, but like post-apocalyptic,
I guess.
Like I guess
post-viral.
Well, because it's like post-pandemic or something that happens right in the game, the Black Friday virus or some nonsense.
Yeah. This one is a no-brainer for me, at least. It's Mabinogi. I've talked about this game. I've made videos about this game. I've talked about this game nonstop. I think when it comes to thinking of the idea of an MMO, Mabinogi, like Gen 1 Mabinogi, is like the exact idea that I have. Like the fact that there's part-time jobs and crafting and everything all flies into one. The fact that dungeons are randomized, so there isn't like a meta for dungeons. Like if I throw down a bead, it can make like a 10-floor dungeon. We're gonna throw down a dungeon scroll and then make a 2-floor dungeon. Like the dynamic of that and being like, hey, we're gonna party up, we're gonna do this. Oh, I have to play a song because the songs give buffs, and then we sit at the campfire. While we're sitting at the campfire, I'm a cook. Like there's so many different like systems that like coalesce into one another, and like modern Mabinogi isn't that, and I hate it because there's so much creep because it's a 20-year-old game now. So now it's like they had like a free run event the other day, and it's like now you have like a pet free run that can do like a bunch of magic spells on the fly, and like there's just a bunch of bullshit, bro, and it blows the fuck out of me. But I just love Mabinogi for what it did, and that opened my eyes to the true calling of MMOs and what they're there for. Because for me, I always was just like, oh, I'm gonna make a wizard and make him super powerful. But playing Mabinogi was the one that really made me go like, no, I'm here for the for the social aspect of MMOs. And I think that's why I'm like a quote unquote social gamer so much, is because I'm just chasing the high.
Multiplayer nigga.
I'm just a multiplayer nigga because I'm just chasing the high of Mabinogi. That's it.
And you'll never be able to replay Mabinogi in that same way.
Don't say
right?
that,
because
they are doing a remake.
Oh, okay.
They're porting it from like their proprietary engine to like Unreal Engine 5, and I believe they're going to drop fresh start servers. So if they do that, and they just start, like, my hope is that they just start from the jump, just do like some like Mabinogi Origins or something like that, or like Classic, and start from the jump with the brand new engine and let people cook. I would fuck with it. But if not, if you're gonna just do Mabinogi and it's just upgraded graphics with all this same chain slash bullshit, bobble bobble, then no, I'm not gonna fuck with it.
Okay. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Very controversial pick.
That's very controversial. Quick, not 3.
No, fuck 3. 2 is like the fan favorite. 3 is the
3 is my favorite. I like 3. I like 3 a lot.
Really? Yeah, that I feel like 3 is pretty controversial in terms of the Assassin's Creed like community. Assassin's Creed Odyssey though is a great game. Maybe not a great Assassin's Creed game, but it is a fantastic look at Greek mythology, Greek history, Greek culture. It's a really, really dense, really rich game that has sailing just like fucking, a Wind Waker, which makes it so fun to traverse. There's a bunch of character customization. There's a bunch of weapons. It's near endless. And I love that game. I love everything about that game. People call it bloated, but I engaged with everything that I felt like it and never felt like I was missing out or underpowered or this is too long. Like, I think the story is only like 25 hours.
Yeah, and I think if a game if that's your one game and and it's 100 hours of content, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and I think about Assassin's Creed Odyssey a lot, and it is very, very special to me. I would say it's funny. Division 2 and AC Odyssey were pandemic games, COVID games. I played the hell out of those during that. Yeah. So yeah, AC Odyssey up there, absolutely. I've played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, skipped 3. Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, skipped 3. Assassin's Creed, what's the one on the Vita? Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Yeah,
I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I didn't play Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins, but I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed, and I don't care what people say. Like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an excellent, excellent game overall.
I'd say Unity.
I played Unity as well. Unity is great for different reasons, but again, it matched. I'm not interested in the Renaissance French periods, so I guess I'm just like less. But I think it looked great. I think it looks better than Assassin's Creed Odyssey at times. I don't know how they did it. I think it's just that the texture streaming that they had, like some of the clothes just looked detailed.
It's that PS4 launch era, bro.
We're getting there.
PS4 launch era.
They got ahead of themselves somehow, and they're like, let's put the magic back in the bottle because we can't.
They're not ready.
The frame rates. Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like. All right.
Yeah.
You're next.
Bully.
What's up? This is a surprise. I did not know this about you,
bro. Listen, I never talk about Bully, but like I think about Bully a lot. Like it's such a good game, bro. I think because like we said, like we play games wrong. We're wired differently. Like you said, you like customization. You like taking your time, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the area. And Bully is an atmosphere-ass game. You're at this small town, and you get the school first, then you get the little bit of the town, and the town slowly expands, but you learn every single person that lives in that town. You learn every single person that goes to that school and their quirks and what do they do and how do they act. You learn everything about him. Jimmy Hopkins is a very hilarious guy. I said earlier, because Goated's playing Bully right now, and I said in his chat, I called him Johnny Hopkins, and I was like, oh shit, I've been watching too much Grey's Anatomy.
I'll be fucking up. But yeah, Jimmy, he's a cool character. All the characters are just there's they're so stereotypically like hilarious that it makes such a fun game. It's like the loop. It's not even a long game. You can 100% most of the game pretty relatively quickly. It's a rather chill game. Like, yeah,
it's really,
just
really
like
chill.
I just like riding my bike around, skateboarding, throwing firecrackers at people. It's so fucking chill.
Yeah, that's a game that I would add to my honorable mentions for sure. That was one of the first games I bought launch. I remember I was in high school when that came out, and I played the fuck out of it. I hate Rockstar's fucking like their movement. Like I just fucking
you hate doing the tapping?
Yeah, I hate the way like GTA and all them kind of feel. Like Red Dead's the exception, but Bully was like, I remember it. I was like, God, he moves so fucking like slow and like it just didn't feel right to me.
Doing the run animation and shit.
Quick little fun fact here about Bully. I thought for some reason that Monster House and Bully shared so much DNA that when I went to go watch Monster House, I was like,
Jimmy.
I was just hoping that I was gonna be like not connected to it, but like it was gonna have the same vibes. And honestly, Monster House is not that great of a movie, but I think I like it because it reminds me of Bully, like the town. Like there's like a sleepy town like vibe.
It does have the same vibes.
And then Bully. yeah, whatever the town in Bully is called. But yeah, Bully is a 10 out of 10, absolutely, and I would add it as an honorable mention. Although, well, 8 out of 10 because of that movement. Dragon's Dogma. I'm not gonna say much about Dragon's Dogma because we already know why that shit.
We have 4 hours of conversation about Dragon's Dogma.
It's Dragon's Dogma is clear. So let's just skip to the next one. Final Fantasy Type O. This game has what I like in RPGs, and that is when I get to switch and play as different characters. You play as class 7? I can't even remember now what the class is called, but you have multiple characters you can play as and manage and fuck with their kits. And not unlike Dynasty Warriors, you know, you're going into battle, you're fighting these, you know, mechanical soldiers and robots and mechs and all that. And I just love this game. It's a PSP game. I played it on the PS4, but I've emulated it on the PSP, and it's definitely a lot better on there. But if you can play it, it's a very, very unique title. Very unique. It's the only rated M Final Fantasy as well. So there's that about it too.
I did not know it was
there's not a
well, it's rated. Yeah, 16 now is rated M2 now. Right?
Yeah. So those are the first two, I guess. Final. Yeah. But yeah, I love this game. I think it has a great story. It has those PSP graphics. This is a game that I pick up every once in a while just to play like a quick mission. I think it has a great gameplay loop. So
yeah, I'll knock out 2 real quick as well too. Infamous Second Son is kind of the same similar situation as Bully, where it's just it's a chill open world.
It's
and
the town. You like Seattle, right? It's Seattle.
Yeah, and it's just having the powers and like it's like there's always something to do exactly when you need to do it, and it never like it's hard to play Infamous Second Son and not 100% it. It's like I'm going to do every side quest. I'm going to unlock everything on the skill tree. I'm going to get all the skill shards. I can't help it. It's just the movement's so fun that I gotta get it. Like what? It's right there. I'm gonna just smoke on over and grab it. Like or run with Neon. It's just so fun as like a quick open world game. Knock it out real quick. DJ Hero 2. I quote this game a lot for the reason why my mom bought me turntables in 8th grade, and that led to me making music. It led to most of the shit that happened in my life was because of music and because of DJ Hero 2. Like if I didn't play DJ Hero 2, I wouldn't have started that, and now all this shit that would happen wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't be married in this house right now doing Back of the Rack. So gotta give it to DJ Hero 2 for that. It's a fun game. A lot of people I want to throw this on the list. I want to throw the first one on the list specifically.
DJ Hero?
And, yeah, but I don't know how willing you are to
buy a peripheral and play a DJ Hero game, but I think
depending on
the
price, like if it's like fucking $60, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
How expensive you think it is?
Let's see. I'll add it to the list right the fuck. I'll make an audible. We'll play it this deep. It's like, nah. Oops, surprise game. Let's see. DJ Hero 360 is only $30 for the turntables in game.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I do that. But if I hate it, what am I gonna do with this piece of plastic?
You're gonna
No,
keep the
fuck
turntable. You're gonna keep the fucking turntables. That's what you're gonna do.
No, yeah, I'd be down. That'd be interesting. BioShock, another obvious pick. I feel like it's pretty obvious why I might like this one. I like the art style. I like the BioShock's just perfect in almost every way. So that's
I need to
another 10 out of
replay
10.
that game. I haven't played that game since 10th grade. That
Yeah.
BioShock 2. I still haven't played Infinite.
BioShock is one of those games to me that it's like so many games. BioShock walked so many other games could run. But there's also a lot of games that walked so a lot of other games could run. But BioShock really set the precedent for a serious look at culture and specific philosophies. To keep it vague, I don't want to ruin sort of what the whole thing's about, but like, I think it's very thought-provoking, and I thought it was really cool. Also, the gameplay was really fun, and I'll say it's a 9 out of 10 because I do have my issues with it, with the formula of gameplay. Sometimes I want to walk around again, and the game forces you into combat arenas, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And then Chorokyu Road Trip, which we haven't played, but it's basically Chorokyu. Yeah, it's the more comprehensive CarPG hybrid game. This seminal game, PS2 era. I mean, if you've never seen, it's nothing special in terms of graphics, but it just makes me feel at home. It's very Harvest Moonian, I will say. I'll tell you that much right now.
There you go. We're Harvest Moon gangs. We need to add a Harvest Moon to the.
Probably.
I need.
I've actually never played a Harvest Moon, so I have no clue.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm adding to the list. Next season,
so
it's gonna be another crazy season. Resident Evil 5. Talking with community made me think about Resident Evil 5. When we were talking about Resident Evil 5, I was really like, damn, I really fuck with this game a lot, bro. Like, there's so much, like, the Mercenaries mode is so fun because it's all about comboing. There's there's like so many different like small tech things that you can do. Like if you're like if you shoot somebody in the head and then you run up with Chris and you punch them, while you're punching them, you can pull up the inventory and quickly reload your gun so you don't have to do the reload animation. Throwing a grenade and then picking up like ammo so that you like it blows up and you're like immune to the explosion. Like the fact that there's even like multiple different moves that you can do depending on if you shoot them in the arm or if you shoot them in the leg or if you shoot them in the head, then you have different moves that have different properties that allows for more crowd controlling. It's like a Resident Evil 5 is low-key like a beat 'em up in terms of crowd control and how you like maneuver the game more than it is like an action game or like a Resident Evil game, because it's not scary and it's not really like that difficult in terms of like needing to snipe and shoot all these people. Like, bro, you get infinite ammo guns like after you beat the game one time, so like you just go in and shoot everybody and just have fun. It's I looked at my PC save and I think I have every gun except for the shotguns unlimited ammo, so I just have to complete the game with those ones that I can get it. And it's like that's insane. Like that shows you how many times I've beaten that game, bro. I love that game.
You know what? For some reason, I've never beaten Resident Evil 5. I always get like start it and never finish it. It's the only Resident Evil besides Code Veronica that I've not played in like the main line, like in the continuity of the games, right?
Yeah. 5 is my favorite.
I don't know
one
why,
still.
but yeah.
6 is still up there, but 5 is my favorite one in terms of like where I can just go like I like this top 10 that everything that I just listed. Like I could, if I decided to put any of those games in right now, I could play it from start to finish in like there wouldn't be a problem. Like I would be like, wow, I love this game.
Do you want to do a quick rapid fire of the rest of the games, the honorable mentions? Just run through
You're a
them.
wild nigga for having Monsterhunterwilds up here, man. You're a wild nigga, bro. But see, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it because I don't have a Monster Hunter up here. I should put Try on here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. But Monster Hunter World was up there, but I'm like, I like Wilds better, so it's just going in there. So here are my honorable mentions: X-Men Legends 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy 12, Nier Automata, Dragon Quest Heroes 2, Red Dead, Horizon Forbidden West, Killzone 3, Diablo 3, Split Second, Resident Evil 6, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Silent Hill Origins, Monster Hunter Wilds, Crysis 3, Musashi Samurai Legend, Tactics Ogre, Disgaea 4, Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, Demon's Souls, and Batman Arkham Asylum. Those are all in the running. So you go ahead.
I'm gonna add a couple because now that I realize I'm just spitballing on the top of my head. But yeah, honorable mentions for me are Xanadu Next. It's a newer entry to the list. Final Fantasy 12, Prey, the 2006 version, not the new one. Katamari Damacy, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, which is probably the one I wouldn't put on the list. But I mean, I feel like I'll talk about it. I'll figure it out. I'll find
I don't know which one. Yeah.
Britney Spears Dance Beat. That's just a guilty pleasure. That's a junk food game. That's a junk food game. Nuclear Throne, Destiny, Dark Souls, Shadow of Mordor, Dragon's Dogma, Indivisible, Jet Set Radio, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I
probably put that in my honorable mentions.
Quick.
Yeah.
Dark Cloud. Low key. Dark Cloud 1. I really fuck with Dark Cloud 1. I really
that makes sense. Yeah, because you do talk about it a lot.
That's it. Sonic Adventure 1, maybe. And that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to like games, there's a lot of games that I really fuck with, but it's not like that's top 10 of. Like that's close to top. Like these ones, like on a good day, Resident Evil 5 can get swapped out for like a Xanadu Next or a, depending on how my nostalgia's feeling,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask for like a top 20, but I was like, that's just too much.
That's a lot. Listen.
But check this out. I did do a little I wanted to do a little trivia based on both of our lists here, just to see what ChatGPT would say. So I already sent you something, but I did a little bit more research, or did a little bit more asking some questions. So number one, so even though your lists seem different at first glance, there are hidden developer connections that tie them together. Capcom love. Bendez has Resident Evil 2 remake, Dragon's Dogma, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Musashi Samurai Legend. Sondi has Resident Evil 5 and Dragon's Dogma. Capcom's influence is all over your lists. Square Enix presence. Bendez has Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy Type 0, Final Fantasy 12, Tactics Ogre, and Musashi Samurai Legend, Nier Automata. Sondi has FF12, Indivisible, published by Square Enix Europe. You both enjoy Square Enix RPGs. Sega and Arcade Spirit. Sondi has more Sega-based games. Sonic Adventure 2, Jet Set Radio, Bust a Groove. Bendez has Split Second, which, like Sega Racers, has an arcade racing feel. Series preferences and differences. Final Fantasy Oddity. You both mentioned Final Fantasy 13 in honorable mentions, but Bendez has more spin-off Final Fantasy love, showing a preference for Final Fantasy's experimental and strategic entries. Resident Evil Divide. Resident Evil 2 Remake is Bendez's pick, and RE5 is Sondi's pick. This fits your playstyles. Bendez enjoys the tense survival aspects, while Sondi prefers fast-paced, action-heavy Resident Evil. Overlooked gems and deep cuts. Your lists both contain some underrated and forgotten games. Chorokyu Road Trip, a bizarre mix of RPG and racing. This was part of a long-running Penny Racer series in Japan. Xanadu Next, a Falcom action RPG that rarely gets mentioned despite being a spiritual successor to Dragon Slayer. Musashi Samurai Legend, a sequel to Brave Fencer Musashi, but often overlooked due to its cel-shaded art shift. Britney Spears Dance Beat, a PS2 rhythm game that feels like an ultra niche DDR spin-off.
That's crazy. It's not even DDR.
The one entry franchises. Despite having big name franchises on your lists, you both tend to pick just one entry from the major series. Example, Zelda, only Wind Waker from Sondi, even though most people would include multiple titles from the series. Example, Assassin's Creed, only Odyssey, Bendez skipping other AC titles. Unique gameplay systems you both appreciate. Games with unique movement. So Bendez has Metal Gear Solid 5, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Shadow of the Colossus. Sondi, you have Infamous Second Son, Jet Set Radio, Sonic Adventure 2. You both seem to appreciate games that feel good to move around in, whether it's fluid parkour, climbing, or stylish movement. Games where music is a core feature. Sondi's list is more obvious. DJ Hero 2, Bust a Groove, Britney Spears Dance Beat. Bendez has Nier Automata, Bioshock, and Silent Hill 2, all famous for their soundtracks, but in a more atmospheric way. Bendez mostly prefers solo or story-driven games. Even multiplayer titles, Division 2, Diablo 3, Monsterhunterwilds, have deep co-op RPG elements rather than competitive aspects. Sondi enjoys more social/competitive play. Mabinagi, DJ Hero 2, Destiny, Dark Souls. The power fantasy element. Both of you enjoy games that make you feel powerful, but in different ways. Bendez enjoys tactical power, MGS5, Tactics Ogre, Disgaea 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Sondi enjoys stylish, in-your-face power, Infamous Second Son, No More Hero, Shadow of Mordor. And then here is just some other random stuff. You both have games with weird AI or companion systems. Dragon's Dogma has the Pawn system. MGS5 has AI control companions like D-Dog and Quiet. Shadow of Mordor has a Nemesis system. And Mabinogi has AI controlled pets and lives and NPCs. Both lists feature games with time mechanics. So Lightning Returns is time-limited story progression like Majora Mask. Resident Evil 2 Remake has the Tyrant AI actively hunts you on a timer. Harvest Moon is a life simulation with aging mechanics. Xanadu Next, dungeon exploration tied to time mechanics. Is that correct? Xanadu Next? I was going to say, I don't think...
You just are in there just vibing.
Oh, but there's no like time system or anything on that?
I mean,
or it's just not utilized.
There's a time system, but it's just not. It's like a plot thing, but it's not like really
I see.
You have 3 days. That's what they say.
Your favorite games have a surprising amount of death and rebirth themes. Bendez, Shadow of the Colossus, Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy Type O, Nier Automata, Sondi with Dark Souls, Infamous Second Son, No More Heroes. This suggests you both enjoy stories where characters evolve, struggle, or deal with second chances. And finally, super nerdy takeaways. You both enjoy power fantasy games, but Bendez prefers strategic, methodical power, while Sondi prefers flashy, over-the-top power. Dragon's Dogma is your true intersection, meaning you both appreciate deep RPG combat and open world exploration. You share an interest in experimental or niche games, whether it's deep RPGs like Bendez or quirky arcade-style games like Sondi. Bendez likes tension, atmosphere, and tactical depth, while Sondi enjoys style, movement, and music-driven experiences. You both have a love for movement mechanics, whether it's climbing Colossi, parkouring through Seattle, or skating in Jet Set Radio.
Hey, man.
Wild.
But I don't fuck with hover, though. I don't fuck with hover.
What's that?
It was another Jet Set Radio clone
spin-off or
somebody, that somebody tried to make.
Oh.
That shit was Dookie. It was buns.
All right. Well, that's what we got for today's what?
No, that is true. Now that you say that, I was thinking about before starting the podcast. I was playing Flintlock. I started that, and you quickly get a double jump and an air dash, and like you can like teleport real fast. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm locked in. I do like flashy movement. You're right. It's fucking reading me like a book. Now ChatGPT's gonna fucking.
Well, that's why I put it in there, because I was so curious. I'm like, what do these games say about us? And obviously, I couldn't tell you like what the commonality is between these
niggas
games.
like good games.
So I put them in there. I'm like, there has to be a through line of all these games, and there was, and it talked about, do you like flashy movement, and that makes sense for a lot of like the kind of more games arcadey style first that you seem to enjoy. I mean, all your favorite games
are very flashy.
Yeah, and they're not like story driven, seriously like
hey,
like
shout
cinematic.
out Giga Wings. Giga Wings should be up there, bro. Giga Wings is on the honorable mention. I fucking love Giga Wings, bro. I'm about to go play Giga Wings, bro.
Giga Wings. I've never heard of this.
Bro, I'll put a shmup on this list. You would ban from the rack immediately. I know you. I know you. You would be like, this shit is ass. I'm not playing this. Banned from the rack.
If it's well, it depends. It depends. I used to love Raiden.
Raiden?
Where you, I used to love that. Like,
so
on
if I
Sega
put Dodonpachi on the
kid.
list, are you gonna play it? If I put,
I'll play it, but if you want it. If you don't want me to tear it up, then don't put it on the list.
If I put Ikaruga on this list, which let me not.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up as we're already pushing 3 hours here.
Yeah.
Another status check in the bag. Thanks for joining us, guys. This was just a little hangout. We like to just talk about whatever here. Video games, personal stuff. Mostly video games, but we like to throw in
mostly Samurai Champloo.
Whatever. Mostly Samurai Champloo and Dynasty Warriors. That's all we talk about on here.
Yeah,
But make sure you join our Discord where you can talk about these types of topics in the Discord with us or other people. And you can follow us on all the socials. All that stuff is going to be in the comments. Let us know what your top 10 is, and I'll run it through ChatGPT and give you a psychological profile so that they can really judge the type of person you are based on your games. I actually did that with our list, Sondi, and I'll send that to you so you can see what it means. What kind of person? Yeah, like you'll see what it means to be to like those
you were
games,
beaten as a child, and that's why you love high action games. You're a sexual deviant. That's why you need Britney Spears is dancing.
You need constant stimulus at every moment in a game, or else you're not satisfied.
You need to start praying to God right now because I don't think you'll make it. But no, join the Discord. Join the Discord, yo. Join the Discord, please. I can't say it worth as much. Join the Discord. If you love radio and you're joining in, just looking to see what we're doing, join the Discord. Recommend some songs because we're only 2 people. We have biases. Link us some tracks.
Right. Yes.
If you want to play these games with us, this is not just a me and him thing. This is us. Like right now, we are currently playing Blitz the League in the Discord. Play along with us. Get your copy, emulate it, whatever you got to do. Play along with us. Build your franchise up. Let's go. Let's do this.
If you're tired of the media hype trains of all these new games and stuff, I think Back of the Rack is a great antidote to just playing old games that don't have all this like incredible, divisive media hype. It's just two best friends talking about some game that no one probably ever heard, and it's just chill. It's just like really it's therapeutic being able to go back to some of these games that we might have missed and just being able to talk about it in our adult forms.
Yes. I think the best part about Back of the Rack is the fact that on paper you look at a game like Wet or like a Binary Domain, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a Back of the Rack ass game. You think long neglected, not respected, blah blah blah. And you think, yeah, that's correct. But there's no through line. Like this could be the greatest game of all time. Like this could be a Final Fantasy 12 or Musashi,
right?
Or this could be a Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. This could be a Rise of Sensu. It could be the shittiest of shit or the greatest thing known to man. So like, I love that dichotomy of trying to figure out where it all fits in the grand scheme of things. So if you like that as well, fuck with us.
Yeah, All right, well, guys, leave your comments. Don't forget, we want to know your top 10 games. All right. I will not. Stay safe. I promise that I won't thumbs down it if I see, you know, some fucking wild shit down there. But all right. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.